Welcome to episode 18 of the Current Backloggers. The date is June 11th. I am your host, KCP, along with my good friend and co-host, Cody G, in person. Cody, how's it going?
Good, that was a loud one. I feel awake now.
That was my goal.
We're here in person, man.
Yeah, we were saying before we went on, it doesn't feel real anymore.
How long's it been?
I think 2.5 months.
2.5 months, really?
I think so. Something that probably could look really easy on YouTube, but I didn't.
Feels really long and really short all at the same time.
Yeah, feels way longer than this, but also like we've done it before, you know?
We talked about this before, but do both of your phones have service? You have two phones right now.
No, only my iPhone does. The Galaxy just runs off of Wi-Fi.
Oh, okay.
So that's why I kept it, because I can still use it, and because I'm not going to get anything out of it anyways now. It's so old and cracked.
Cool.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Is there anything special that this iPhone doesn't do?
No, I just haven't transferred everything over yet.
Oh, okay.
And that way, I can use it for situations like this. If an iPhone dies, I get this ready to go for a podcast, you know? Or I don't have to worry about keeping this charged like I did every time before we started.
There was a guy on Facebook Marketplace selling this Master Chief with a bunch of other stuff, like a bunch of console cables. But then he had a boxed Halo 4 attachments with it, sealed for what's the big headphone company? Like the Astros?
Yeah, that's one of them.
Yeah, it was sealed. And look at the Astro thing. The Astro thing was going for over $100 on eBay. I was like, I could just sell that and keep this guy. But I messaged the guy like 10 minutes after he posted it. Somebody already fucking got it. That quick. But yeah, I was that close to having one myself.
I'm sorry. He is pretty great holding the PlayStation controller.
I know. I was just saying, put a fucking Xbox controller in his hands. That's just disrespectful.
Yeah, I wonder who did that.
Just disrespectful.
There's a huge event tonight, so I think it makes sense that I forgot my glasses. So you want to grab my glasses right there, buddy?
Yeah, let me get them off your Taylor Swift homemade table here.
It's not homemade. The Amish made it.
The Amish. Do you think they knew who the fuck Taylor Swift was?
I hope not. There we go. Now it feels right. I knew something was off. They're so smudged.
Can I show the webcam your table?
Yeah, sure.
Here's Casey's fucking table. This psycho.
My fucking table, I get it.
Look at that.
That can be the thumbnail, so get more views. So you haven't been on, well, I was going to say a couple weeks, but you're on the week before that.
Yeah.
But, so what have you been up to, guy?
Last week, my puppy got fixed. Well, the basement flooded, of course. Been working on that nonstop. And I probably already said that. I'm so done talking about the basement being flooded. The puppy got sick. We thought it ate something, poisons or something after surgery. But they sent her home after the surgery with 3 ibuprofen. So we're supposed to cut in half and give her 1 a day. Well, it was late at night, started freaking out. And she was shaking and throwing up. Now we know it's because she was in such pain because they didn't give her enough medicine, which is that's so terrible. Then they gave her way too much. The stuff they sent her home with, dude, I could sell it on the street. There's 20 pills of this, I think it's called gabapentin.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying, dude. They went from 3 ibuprofen to 20 capsules of a controlled substance. There was no in between. I think they felt bad, so they just doped my dog up. So we got that figured out. That was when we were supposed to be filming the podcast. That was at nighttime till about 4 once the dog finally fell asleep. Just drywall, man. Drywall is really making me OCD, and it's not like the cute OCD. Oh my, he organizes stuff when he sits down at a table. Oh, he puts his fork in a weird spot. My OCD is I sit up at night and obsess about stuff, and if something doesn't look right or feel right, I freak out about it. And I said, fuck it. This drywall looks shitty. I don't give a shit, but I'm going to finish it. I don't care anymore. Drywall's terrible. I hate it. And it's kind of fun at the same time, too. It's kind of like arts and crafts. You got this mud, and you spackle it, put a podcast on, you sand it. So next week, I'm going to try painting. And then we're hoping the week after that would be carpets. Then the week after that, maybe shelves, and then I'm back in there. So maybe in one more month, I'll be back in there. It's been weird. The insurance company is like, oh, dude, we'll take care of you. We're going to pay for everything, dude. And he said it'll be 10 days. We're going to get the money to you in 10 days. I was like, wow, this is fucking smooth as shit. This was so easy. Then 10 days came. Now it's been like a month. And I was like, what the fuck are they doing? So I call our adjuster. He won't pick up the phone anymore. I was like, I feel like I've been scammed. Like, what's happening here? So I get a letter in the mail that says, hey, they want to look at your case a little bit more. So all this has been out of my pocket, man. We're getting close to... Man, once that... There's a company that came in to clean the basement and dried it out. It's got to be close to $2,000. And they have yet to... Insurance companies take their good old fucking time. Good old... My adjuster was so... He's like, dude, we got money coming to you right now, brother. And it never came. And he lied to me.
Is your adjuster Hulk Hogan by chance? You like saying brother a lot?
Oh, man. Brother. No, he's one of those guys that always just says that brother thing. So there's that. At this point, I'm just about to tell the insurance company to just shove up your asshole. I don't even care anymore. I'm just going to finish it myself, and don't ever contact me again, insurance company. I don't know why they'd contact me, but don't do it.
I ain't doing it.
I ain't doing it. So besides the normal house stuff and my neighbors being awkward, did I ever tell you the story about the time I was cutting down a tree?
Yeah.
And the guy just with his gut. Finally talked to him.
Yeah, you said that not last week, the week before, yeah.
Total sweetheart. I've talked to his whole family now. The other guy was like, I'm going to talk to him now. I was like, went really good. Went over there. I was like, how's it going, man? He just stared at the ground, and I had headphones in, so I told him, I was like, how's it going, man? Good. Cool, my name's Cody. It's nice to meet you. Terrence, nice to meet you too. So I think he's just awkward. I'm just gonna let it that. I'm just done talking to him. It's just weird. I don't even know. It's just weird. Weird times over there. How's your life been, Casey? It's just painfully weird, dude. I can't even get out of my car. It's like, oh my god, he's so awkward.
My life's been a little better, it sounds like.
I didn't use his real name, by the way. That's not his real name.
Oh, okay. I had a question about that off air, but now it's not his real name. I guess I won't ask you.
Yeah.
But what I've been up to is I went to a couple more drive-in movies. It seems like I say every week now. But that was a lot of fun. I can talk about which ones I saw when we talk about our movies. I also hung out with my niece and family again. So that was a nice way to get away from all the nonsense for a while. And then it's kind of just a baby week. I went to see Dave's baby as well, Dave and Allie's baby.
I didn't know you did that.
Yeah, I finally got to see him. And I'm going to say her every time because I'm so used to supposed to be that. But he cried a lot. And
it's babies.
Yep. And Dave assured us, though, he doesn't normally do this. And he said how every parent says that, and he doesn't. So I believe him. I just thought it was funny to make fun of it. And right as I was holding him, took a massive shit, and I almost threw up. As the smell is, even Dave was like, oh, he does that a lot. And, oh, yeah, that was a really bad one. And obviously, they probably had all kinds of bad ones. So I was like, wow, that's my luck. But he was adorable, and it was
smell
fun.
Like burnt rubber tires or something.
Worse than that, yeah. But he was adorable, and it was good to get to see them because till tonight I haven't really seen anybody for a long time.
That's the one thing that gets me is poop.
Really?
Yeah, that's where I draw the line. Actually, last night, me and Renee finally sat down. We're like, let's make a nice dinner. We made a nice dinner, like smoked turkey. It was the whitest meal ever. It was like mini Thanksgiving in the summertime. Sitting down and we're eating. It's like, this is very fancy. Yes, darling. And then Renee's like, oh God, and look over, and the dog's just shitting. And it's never had diarrhea ever, but the one time it shits in the house, it has diarrhea. When I tell you it smelled so bad in there, dude, I was gagging.
Oh, I'm sure.
I can't fucking do this anymore.
That's
Sorry, go ahead. That's the one thing. I can't do poop smells.
No, this is a poop podcast, so I can go off of that. I actually never even thought about it. I don't feel like I've ever seen Buckeye diarrhea before, which I don't feel like
Really?
is possible. As I'm sure he has, but I feel like I've ever seen it.
Oh god. And there's no way. There's no easy way to clean that up either. It was on a wood floor, thankfully,
Yeah.
fucking carpet. But it's like you kind of take a paper towel and you're kind of trying to get a little bit of it, but you're really not. And while it was diarrheaing too, it liked to walk a little bit, so it's like a shit path in the middle of my kitchen while I'm trying to eat.
That's something Buckeye's always done. Not diarrhea, but he loves to walk while he's pooping, and he looks back at you. It's the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen.
Do you think it's like a dominance thing for him?
I don't know. He also sometimes lifts up his leg when he's pooping, like he's about to pee, but then he just poops.
What the fuck?
But to segue off of that naturally, besides that, I've been working, and I took overtime a couple days this week, so more than a 40-hour work week. But the heat's starting to go into effect since we don't have climate control there. But I worked in the summer last year, so
You don't have climate control?
no. But I worked in the summer last year, and there was 90, 100 days, so I mean, high 80s is hard to complain about compared to what it's gonna be.
Why don't they have climate control?
Most warehouses don't, just because they're so massive. Yeah, and the doors are always open from the trucks coming in and out, and
It'd be expensive.
there's some warehouses that do, but most don't. But it's not too bad. But that's all I've been up to.
Sweet, man.
Yeah, and then I guess tonight hanging out with everybody for once and actually seeming normal for once and having a good time to watch the PS5 reveal.
Yeah.
So I guess we could get into that and then go on to the normal show.
Sounds good.
Did you listen to last week's episode?
I started it. What the hell happened? My phone wouldn't play it or something like that.
Oh. So I was just going to ask if you had anything to go off of since you weren't able to go last week. And I didn't know if you had, before we started talking about the PS5 reveal, if you had any thoughts about them delaying it.
Oh, for the Black Lives Matter thing?
Yeah.
It makes sense, not only because that was all anybody was talking about at the time, and it wouldn't have, I don't think PS5 would have made a big splash like they wanted to. But yeah, I think it was probably in good taste to just back away and then just give it a week.
You think so? Because I actually disagreed because I felt like the fact that they had E3 the day after that shooting in Orlando where 49 people that were gay got killed and 53 others got injured, and clearly was a hate crime targeted toward people that have been discriminated against for a long time. And then the next day Sony went on and did a press conference, and then they used that as a platform to talk about change and what's not okay. So I feel like it was weird to do that the next day, but not do this with this happening.
Oh, I didn't even know that happened.
Yeah.
Like, now that you say it, I remember, but yeah, that makes sense to me.
Because I feel like, I know, I'm not saying this from my perspective because I know Sony's not, but I guarantee that, and I can see a perspective of a gay person being like, okay, so we don't matter. I feel like doing it for certain things and then just creates new issues, and then where do you stop? Because like the next big thing that happens, if you don't do it for them, then you don't care about them. So I feel like I get it on one hand because, yeah, it does seem in poor taste that they do it, but I also feel like it's a little hypocritical and not really fair by doing that. And I definitely get it business-wise. I know they would never say it, but I'm sure that's more what they were actually worried about, is that the headlines wouldn't get there as much and there wouldn't be as big of a news story. But I feel like the fact that they made it something else that makes it more comparable to that. And yeah, that's where my mind went right away, because I remember being in a theater watching that the day after that happened. And like I said, I wasn't offended that they did that. I was like, that makes sense. And they used it as a platform to talk about it. But then this, and they didn't even mention even in the one that happened tonight. I was like, this is so weird. And then the fact that it wasn't okay to talk about a week ago because everything was happening, but now it is a week later. I was like, wait, so is everything good now? I feel like it's all really odd.
Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. That's a good point. I didn't think about that aspect of it. That they did it right after that shooting, the day after that shooting.
Yeah, and like I said, I feel like that's very comparable because I'm sure some people would say that it's not just about one person dying with George Floyd. It's about the whole history. But like I said, that's ignoring what gay people have gone through as well. So I feel like that's a pretty one-to-one comparison that works out pretty well. And then also, like I said, you could create a whole new scenario of not caring about certain groups of people by not doing it. And then where does it stop the next time something happens if they do a press conference? And are they going to be wrong for doing it?
I had a professor once. He was a geology professor. He was crazy about rocks. And I don't know. I like talking to him a lot. And he had a lot of stuff going on in his personal life and, things going on at the time. And he was like, Cody, I don't even think about those things. I don't even worry about those things. I just focus on my rocks. Like, went into detail about his rocks and how he can control this environment. And, he's just going to enjoy his life and do the things that he likes. And kind of with the corona and the killing of that guy and the killings that followed and the destruction that followed, I was like, man, I'm gonna go watch some movies. I put some happy movies on and played some video games because like that's how he felt about his rocks is how I'm feeling about my media right now. I'm gonna go sit over here in my corner and get the fuck off social media because that's all it felt like it was on social media.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I watched the video of him passing away and I was like, wow, that was hard to watch. And then I saw the video of the police officer that was a police officer for 38 years. I watched him on Facebook Live and then again on YouTube of him dying on the side of the street with him gasping for air, like breathing. And the guy recording me like, bro, you just shot him over a TV. And he's trying to comfort him as he's passing away and just seeing the fear in his eyes. And I was like, I got to get off this. I got to get out of here, dude. My mind was so just gone. He had 10 grandkids. And then to listen to the family of George, right?
Yeah.
The brother, like, pleading with the riders, like, hey, stop it. This is not my brother. I was just like, I got to get out of here. I drive to work. My coworkers were getting stopped by the police, like, hey, you're not supposed to be out. And then you have to give them your guard card, like, no, I'm going to work downtown. Seeing, like, National Guard and the police blocking all the exits and, like, worried I'm going to get pulled over. Then my other coworker got stopped twice by protesters because he has to drive down High Street. They physically stopped in the middle of the road. I was like, man, 2020, this has been a ride. And I was like, I'm just done. I'm fried. Everyone's got their opinions. Everyone's talking about it. And I was like, I'm out of here. I can't even find, like, normalcy in this. So I'm going to go make my own over here in the corner with movies and video games.
No, I hear you. I think I've definitely done that to a point. I think I definitely do have opinions and still care about it, but that's why I told you. And that's why I said last week recording the podcast is that's why I feel like doing stuff like going on hikes or drive-ins or whatever just gives you some sense of normalcy. And also I feel like makes things feel real again and feel okay. And that's another reason why I thought PlayStation should have done it. Not that, because I feel like the reason you can't do it is because then it takes away from it, like you're distracting, and that's exactly what they don't want, is it something distracting, because it does matter. But I feel like you could definitely spin that in a different way. Not spin it. It is true that you just need some positivity sometimes. So just because PlayStation's holding an event doesn't mean it's changing the world, but that it gives you an escape for a little bit, and that doesn't mean problems go away.
Yeah.
Just like the shooting, that didn't change anything, but they still did it.
No, it's just been weird, man.
It definitely has.
I remember talking to a coworker about. He's an older gentleman. Most of the guys that work. This is the type of people I work with. The one guy. Yeah, I don't know how many wars he's been in, but he's from the late '80s to probably 2013. He was in the military, and there's like a batch of wars from the late '80s, like Desert Storm, all the way to he was in Iraq and Afghanistan. So he retired out of the military and he does this job on the side. And then the other guy was a police officer since the early 90s and then retired and does this now. And then the other guy is a fireman that retired after 30 years and does this now. I was like, I worked at a movie theater before this. Like, talking to all these guys are like heroes. Like, I worked at a movie theater before this. But so they're older guys, and we were talking about my mom liked Marvin Gaye a lot, and he's got that song, I think it's "What's Happening" or whatever, and it's about like the '60s riots and stuff. I was like, man, the '70s and '60s were wild, but then that song came on. I was like, what the? This is what's going on right now. This, and it's just weird, man.
No, definitely. That's actually something I left out of the podcast last week. I was talking about how I went downtown after, not during the riots or protesting or anything. And that was one of the things that seemed fucking surreal, just seeing like these giant Humvees driving around and people walking around with assault rifles and just people in full gear like there's an actual war zone in downtown Columbus. So this is fucking crazy.
Yeah, it was depressing because I mean it's already you know how it is driving to work. Like, God damn, I want to go to work. But then meanwhile, there's cops at every exit, multiple cops, and they're pulling people over, stopping people at every exit.
Yeah.
Like, turn around. Your cell phone's alerting you, like, it's a stay-at-home order.
Yeah, every single night for a few nights.
I was like, man, I just want to just get a big piece of property and hide out somewhere. This will actually go back to something I watched this week, too. The reason I watched this thing, because like, this is what I want to do.
Yeah, I have a few other random things to talk about from the last episode, but we can get in the PS5 reveal so we don't ramble on for too long.
Yeah, sounds good, man.
You want to start?
Sure, man. It started right out at Spider-Man.
Yeah, well, before that, I thought it was a really weird start. They started with GTA 5.
Yeah, GTA.
Which I get to after they played the end of it. I get why they did it because it said everybody has a PS5 will get it automatically. So there's obviously some deal there going on. But I still feel like that's really weird to start out the next generation of gaming with a game that's been around for, what, half a decade or whatever it's been.
Well, someone we were watching it with, I totally forgot. They came out on the 360.
Yeah, so probably more than half a decade.
Mm-hmm.
And
the 2013?
Yeah, so 7 years. Yep.
7, 8 years. It was the ass end of the last consoles. Because, let's see, that September it came out. And then that fall, I think, was next gen.
Yeah. Yeah, I forgot it came out in the previous generation before somebody said that. And like I said, I do definitely get it from a certain point because they are giving away with the system for free. And there's obviously some deal going on between them and Rockstar to be able to start out a conference like that. And I get the game, even though it's old, is still remain popular. But I still just think it's very odd to start out something that's talking about the future of gaming with a game that's 7 years old.
Yeah.
But yeah, then it got on to Spider-Man.
Yeah, the Miles Morales. And what caught me was they used a Kid Cudi song that I'd never heard before. I was like, that's fucking cool shit. I had to look up after this.
I don't even like him, but I thought that song was good.
You don't like Kid Cudi?
No.
I think we talked about that before.
Yeah, Kid
He's
Cudi.
one of my favorite artists for sure. When I was in high school, I was like, this is gonna be my first tattoo. I'm gonna get a Kid Cudi tattoo. But yeah, that was exciting. They also Jaden Smith is in that song. I think it's actually his song.
Oh, really?
When I was looking it up, yeah.
That's more reason not to like it, sadly.
They didn't show much though.
No, which is weird because I did expect Spider-Man, but I didn't expect them to show much. But then the fact that it's going to be out with the launch, it seemed like it said later this year. I'm surprised they didn't have more to show because that has to mean they're close to finishing it.
Yeah.
Unless they're going to delay it, but I can't imagine they would delay something like that when they announced it like that.
I wonder if like the other Miles Morales stuff will be in there. It sounded like the same voice actor. I forgot to look that up.
Oh yeah, I was
As
wondering
the
if you did.
But like the pig and stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
That'd be hilarious to have that in the game.
I could definitely see Insomniac doing, even if it's not like a main thing, like a side mission or Easter egg or something like that.
And the way it was presented, it almost felt like DLC for Spider-Man PS4 more than.
That's what I thought, and I would even continue to think that, but the fact that it's launching on PS5, I feel like if that's not what it is, people are going to be real mad, especially Insomniac. That's why I knew Spider-Man would be announced, whether it be now or later, because they said a long time ago, or not a long time ago because it hasn't been that long, but a while ago that they're making a sequel of Spider-Man, so I knew it was a matter of time until they showed it.
No. Yeah, you're right, man. Yeah.
So it did look like a cool trailer, but yeah, there wasn't much to it. And it wasn't like a surprise because I expected Spider-Man to kind of just win. it is surprising that's this soon if it doesn't get delayed, but that's about the only surprise to that to me.
Do you want to go to the next game then?
Yeah, let me see what I got here. Well, then they talked about Gran Turismo 7, but yeah, that's not us.
If I was going to play a racing game, I'd probably go with Forza.
Yeah.
Those are fun.
Me is Misa. It's pretty fitting. I was gonna say me. It's always kart racers, and the main one is Mario Kart. So I think it was just my accent coming out, Misa. Then after that was Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. I was gonna say Rift in Time, which I've always loved Ratchet and Clank. I haven't played all of them, but I just always loved the series. And Insomniac's one of my favorite developers, as you know. And but I haven't played all of them. I didn't play the remake, and I own it, and I've heard amazing things about it. But the trailer looked amazing, I thought.
Yeah, no, I agree. My biggest issue with the series was the world always felt so empty. There wasn't enough going on. It was like your normal platformer.
Yeah.
I'm not a big platformer guy, especially that generation of platformers. But the shooting mechanics and how fast it was going looked great.
Yeah, and how they go between different dimensions, everything looked awesome, and how it changed the gameplay up.
Yeah, I wonder how that's going to work out.
Yeah.
Because if you look, it's almost like there's only certain places where you could use it.
Yeah. Yeah, the worlds I don't think were ever that full, but that's weird that you said that's why you didn't like it and you don't like platformers, because platformers used to be my favorite thing, even more than first-person shooters, and if there's a good platformer, I still love it. It's just they're so rare now.
I get it.
But like I've talked about Insomniac, I feel like their main thing has always been their weapons, and Ratchet and Clank was always the thing that showed off the best.
My favorite one is Armed and Dangerous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
I need to play the remake. I've heard good things, especially with this coming out. Not that that connects to it, but just because I want to play that before it comes out.
Yeah.
I thought it was crazy that in the first 4 games they showed, 2 of them were Insomniac games.
Oh, yeah, I didn't think about that.
And it also got me disappointed because I knew that meant probably no Resistance, which there wasn't, because I actually thought that was a possibility, at least a remaster collection. But the fact that they're making both those, I don't even know if it's realistic they're even making another game right now.
Yeah.
Unless they have a massive team.
Or somebody else could be working on the Resistance.
Yeah.
But Bluepoint's pretty busy right now, so I couldn't imagine they would be doing that.
Yeah, and I think Insomniac owns the IP, so they had to let somebody else make it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's Sony.
Oh, I gotcha. They'd have to go through them too.
Yeah.
And the next one was like that weird astronaut game.
Was that
There was actually a few astronaut games.
That's why I was getting confused. Is that Square Enix new game?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I kind of got some like an Alan Wake actually vibe, and Groundhog Day and Mass Effect all mixed into one. Some weird shit going on.
That sucks. I'm gonna need to look it up. I knew there was, while we were watching, I was making food and getting stuff ready, and I watched the Ratchet and Clank trailer before we started because I only caught bits and pieces, and I knew there was something I missed, and that was the other one because I didn't see any of this. So I'm gonna have to rewatch that trailer now, so I can't add anything to it, but that makes me excited.
What is the company makes Alan Wake games?
Remedy.
Yeah, it felt like it looked like a Remedy game. It kind of reminded me of Control.
Maybe I caught the end of this, because I even said one of the games. I was like, this looks like Control, so maybe
you did.
Maybe I did catch the end of that. I'll have to look it up and see.
Yeah, it just looked like I feel like we get a lot of those games, so nothing really stuck out too much about that one.
Yeah.
What the hell is the name of that game though? Are you looking it up?
Oh, I can check for you.
Because I'm curious. But yeah, it just looked like a mystery. Like you're like, oh, what's happening? She's stuck in this weird environment. I feel like when Alan Wake came out, there was nothing like that. I remember you talked me into playing it, and even years after playing it, it was like revolutionary. But I feel like there's a lot of games like that now.
Yeah, definitely.
It was like she was reliving the same day over and over again, I thought.
Is it Project Athena? Is that?
Yeah, Project Athena, Square Enix.
Okay, I thought it was something else. I saw it right away, but I was trying to look.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you got next? See if it lines up.
I didn't take notes for exactly every
Yeah.
game because if something looked dumb to me, I was like, I'm not even gonna force something out of that.
Yeah.
But the next one for me was the Demolition Derby game. Which one do you have next?
I had a Housemarks game. That's what I was wondering. Oh, so you didn't have Housemarks game?
What was that one about again?
That was another space one, but
Gosh, what is
It
it,
was-
4 space games in that press conference? That's not even exaggerating.
yeah. I just thought it looked cool. I love space in general, even though they seem to be a theme with this one. I feel like everybody talks about E3. There's always some theme running between E3. There's like Gravity Hook or something every E3 that always has a running theme throughout all the conferences. But the reason that one caught my eye is Housemarque's the one that made Dead Nation, and I fucking love that game. And I just feel like they're a really good developer, but they've never made anything really massive. They always kind of had smaller scale games. So I'm curious to see what they'll do with that.
Was it the little spaceship one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did like the way they're showing like controls, like coming into the atmosphere, controlling different stuff, like very simmy.
Yeah.
I feel like that would have a better life on PC. With how that would go, it actually kind of reminded me of a friend that plays a lot of simulation games, Ryan Game. Was your next one then Demolition Derby game?
My next one
Jeez, man, I really zoned out with this.
was one that I actually care about. We don't need to talk about everything if you don't want. But it was a new Little Big Planet game, the Sackboy's Big Adventure, which, like I said, I wanted a new Little Big Planet game, but I really didn't think they were going to go back into it after. As much as I like Little Big Planet, I feel like Dreams is kind of the evolved version of that. So, like, man, we're never going to get another Little Big Planet, which sucked because I feel like Dreams definitely is the evolved version as far as the creator mechanics. But I always liked Little Big Planet as a platform and like the main storyline. So that's why, even though Dreams does probably do the creation stuff better, I was hoping for another Little Big Planet. And I feel like this game looks beautiful and looks like a ton of fun. And I said it when it started, I was like, man, Sumo Games, I know that fucking name, but I couldn't think of what it was. And then I should have had a giveaway if I remembered it. They made a Little Big Planet 3, or Sumo Digital, I know I was saying that wrong. But they made Little Big Planet 3, so that would have been a giveaway if I remembered who the developer was. But they also made, it's a weird history. They made Little Big Planet 3, but then they made Snake Pass. I don't know if you've seen that game on Game Pass. It's a kind of weird, seems like an independent game. Obviously, it's not because of them. But they made Crackdown 3, Sonic Racing, a lot of different Sonic Racings.
Wow.
And Dead Island. Oh, they're going to be making Dead Island 2. I was going to say that game's not even out
Did they
yet.
make the newest Sonic Racing? All Stars or something like that?
They made Sonic All-Star Racing in 2012. So that's probably not the most recent one, but
Did they make Team Sonic Racing?
yeah, they did. It was
Did they?
higher up. Yeah. And it says they made Forza Horizon 2. So kind of a weird mixture.
Jesus, they're all over the place.
Yeah. But then next I did have the Demolition game, if you want to talk about that first.
Yeah, that looks really cool, man. I always loved the Demolition games. There is a couple of them that came out on the PS2, I believe. I used to love playing those. I forget what they were called, though. They're actually kind of a rare game now. And then there was a new one that came out for the Xbox One that I didn't buy. I think Wreckfest or something like that was called.
Is it the one that came with the 3D glasses? I have a game. It was on 360 that came with 3D glasses, and it was fucking terrible, but I had to get it. Cause it
Really?
Yeah, it was like the generic red and blue glasses.
Did it change anything?
Just like that, it changed it, but like 3D used to, where stuff would maybe pop out a little, but the biggest change was you were seeing red and blue instead of real colors, so it was fucking terrible.
Did you remember the Spy Kids movie that did that too?
Uh-huh.
Oh, I love that thing.
Did you ever go to the 4D Spy Kids, where they give you a smell-o-vision card?
No.
Yeah, you just scratch a part of different scenes and then smell it. It
Oh,
was
that's great.
so fucking dumb.
Test Drive Eva Destruction was the PS2 one. And then Wreckfest was the Xbox One that I was thinking of.
Okay.
This looks way more cartoony, almost like a Fortnite.
Yeah.
Kind of got that Fortnite vibe.
Oh,
from
definitely. I feel like that's probably intentional to try and get that audience. And it did look fun, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. But I'm disappointed they didn't use Twisted Metal for this. Not for, I know this style wouldn't fit it, but I feel like Twisted Metal has been gone for so long and would make sense right now, and could be a nice change of pace from the normal games we get.
Even if you want to throw it in as a skin.
Yeah.
Put the clown in there with his ice cream truck.
Yeah, definitely. And I would assume Sony owns the IP, so I feel like it's weird that they did something completely. Well, I don't know if this is actually a Sony game. I can't remember if it was PlayStation Studios or not. So maybe that's part of it. That's third party and not actually them. Because if it's Sony, I don't really see the point in making a new car destruction game when you have the biggest car destruction series and don't use the chance to use it.
Yeah, easily of all time. I can't think of anything bigger.
Yeah.
Did you ever get the WWE one?
Were they hanging out of the cars? Was it like?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember playing that.
I loved that one
Yeah.
too when I was a kid. And what's your next one?
I had my next one was Kina, the one that it was like the little girl that had like a wand and she had those little adorable black things with her.
Oh yeah.
I thought the art style looked beautiful and.
That was my next one too.
Oh really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think there was a subtitle to it, but I just put Kina. But yeah, I thought the art style looked amazing. Those things were adorable, and I don't know exactly what's going on in it, but it looked like it'd be a cool, different kind of game, which is a nice change of pace from most games that we see now.
Yeah, it kind of. Well, I said it too at the time. A lot of people did, but Pikmin.
Yeah.
But also, which was kind of funny, it reminded me of Oddworld, and that eventually comes back up in the press conferences.
Mm-hmm.
But you're kind of going around and saving these individual creatures, and you kind of add to your army of what you can do with them.
Yeah.
And solving puzzles, and it just looks cool.
Yeah. Oddworld was actually the next thing I had. Did you have anything before that?
Yeah, there was something really weird before that you're missing.
Is that the?
Yeah, fucking Goodbye Volcano High or something like that. The fuck was that?
Is that the one with
This is what I have written for you. Ready?
Okay.
Dolphin Nasty Nasty. It was fucking. It was like. It was an anthropomorphic.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, this one looked terrible. That's why I just skipped past it.
It's like one of those high school simulators that everybody made fun of on Steam like 5 years ago.
Uh-huh.
But this one's so serious, and it's like, what do we do with our lives? And the camera pans out. I'm so emotional. There's a fucking dolphin with hair, and there's like just. It was so cringy. I feel bad for whoever made that because I mean I'm sure it took a lot of work. But it's like, what did I say? It was like Zootopia meets like Breakfast Club or something. It was trying to be so serious, and it's like this is a dolphin with hair. There's like dragons that were like, did you hear what Christina said? I'm a dragon. It's like, what are we even doing? What is this game? That was so odd. I like some weird stuff, but that was just taking itself way too serious. There's like some. Do you ever think you're just sitting around waiting for something to happen? It's like, no, you're a dolphin. You should be in the fucking water. That's what should be happening.
God
You shouldn't be sitting on a beach with a campfire. Do you ever just think, like, life is pretty crazy? And, like, her best friend's like a fucking giraffe or something. That was so bad. I didn't like that one bit. It looked like a high school simulator mixed with some, like, furry stuff. I don't know. I have no plans of playing that.
Me either. Yeah. I even tried to put down every game in order so that way we could talk about them if we wanted to, but I just naturally scrolled past that one.
As you should have. I just put it down as Dolphin Nasty Nasty.
Was there anything after that besides Oddworld? Or is that your next one?
That's my next one, yeah.
I played bits and pieces of a lot of the Oddworld games, but I never actually finished one.
Same.
Oh, really?
Yep.
And I've liked all the ones I played, so I don't know why I've never stuck with them. None of them have been, this is kind of boring, or I don't like this. I just stopped playing them for some reason. And I thought this one looked really cool.
I get kind of obsessive with them where I'm like, I have to save everybody.
Yeah.
I can't die. So that was my biggest issue with finishing them. I was like, I have to save everyone.
No, I hear ya.
I know maybe 3 years ago Steam was giving away the first one for free.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was my biggest issue with finishing them. Even when I went back and played them when Steam gave them away for free, was still trying to save everybody and get them to the end of the level.
Yeah.
Which I don't think you're supposed to play, especially this one. Did you see like how many were dying? Like you had like 30 of them. They all just caught on fire. Yeah. So I think that's gonna be. I need to go back and play them and just be like, listen, I'm not gonna save everybody. It's not happening.
What is what I had next? Next, I had a couple that I. The next one I was gonna talk about was Godfall. Was there anything for you before that?
What was Godfall about again?
That was the new Gearbox. I think they're publishing, not developing it, but the one that was third-person combat and kind of looked like I think you compared it to League of Legends.
Oh yeah.
I thought it looked really cool.
Yeah.
I've heard people talking about and hyping that game up for quite a while now, but I've never actually looked anything up myself. So I was like, oh shit, what is this? So it's kind of cool not having the hype machine behind it swaying your opinions, because I had no idea what it was. And I was like, oh, this looks fucking awesome. And then when it said Godfall, I was like, oh, this is why people have been hyping up, because this game looks really cool.
Yeah, I'll try it.
Yeah.
I figure a game like that too would be pretty cheap.
Yeah.
Or even free.
What did you have next?
I have Ghost World. It's called Ghost World. The hand battle thing. What do you have next?
What I had next was, well, the next one I had was Solar Ash, but I don't care to.
What was that one again? See, there's so many.
That was.
Them all out.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I feel like this is the first time all of us are together, and a lot of new people are here, and I feel like trying to just have fun. That it's hard to really focus on it, but for now on, I want to try and, not myself included, get better notes, and because I feel like I put like code names for some of these too, because actually everything's passing by so fast, and I want to have like notes for everything. So I'll probably try and do better at that. It was this one though, where she's kind of skiing around the world.
Oh, it's a sequel to that, or not sequel, but they had a game before this was pretty successful.
Oh, really?
Yeah, what was it called? I forget. Very similar art style though.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. These like low budget indie games is like, yeah, okay, like I get it. There's a place for them.
Yeah.
My mind kind of just skips over them. I'm ready for the.
Yeah. So, what'd you have after that?
I think it's called Ghost World.
Oh, that one, yeah. Was it Ghost Wire? Because I had that.
Maybe that's Ghost Wire.
I had that earlier. I must be out of order. What was that one about?
That's the one that looked kind of cool, where they're going around Tokyo and he's like got his fingers up like Naruto.
Okay,
and
yeah.
blasting stuff and force pushing.
Oh, that's one I was thinking about. This I thought looked like Control. That was it then.
Oh, okay.
So I'll have to see what this other one is, since you thought it looked like it. Yeah, but Ghostwire Tokyo.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I had that way before Solar Ash, so one of us out of order. I'm not sure who.
But it looked really cool. I like the premise.
Yeah, I
of
thought it
it
looked really cool. See, like that one, I thought it looked cool, but I can't remember which one was which. I feel like I've even past games. I was like, oh, that one's really cool. Like,
yeah.
I know, I can't remember what the name of it was. The one that was another space one, but he was in like New York City, and I thought that one looked really cool. And I'm like, shit, which one is that? And I can't search space PS5 game because of my 20 results. But I was like, that game looks awesome, but I feel like I might even be skipping past it right now.
Yeah, where you like took her to the moon.
Yeah. So what do you have after that? I had Hitman 4.
Yeah, I skipped over that one.
Yeah, I don't. I'm sure it'll be good, but I can never get in those games. I tried them too because they look so cool, but I can't do it.
Yeah, they're very like simi. Like you got to be real careful.
Yeah.
You can't go in guns blazing. Like I think it was Anita Sarkeesian tried to like use them as like an example of violence, and it totally blew up in her face because they're quite the opposite. You can't go in shooting. You're actually punished for doing those things.
Oh yeah, you definitely are. And I'm not good at stealth games, and that was one of the things I heard with the newer ones. You can kind of play either way. And I was like, oh, okay, that'll get me. I'll be better at this. And yeah, there's no in between stealth. You cannot do that. I fucking fail every time.
You gotta put on the janitor's outfit.
Yeah.
Put this guy in the closet.
After that, I had Astro's Playroom, which looked like I don't know if it's a sequel to Astrobot, because there already was a Playroom. So I don't know if this is gonna be like an update, or they're just saying that the Playroom's coming to PS5 might have been what that announcement was.
Yeah, I didn't know either, but it definitely looked like the controller was a big part of it.
Yeah.
It kind of popped out like controller.
Yeah. I always thought Astrobot was really cool, and it's obviously adorable, so makes sense. And the VR one sold really well for what it was. What'd you have to have after that one?
Arcane Studios' new one, Deathloop.
Okay. Yeah, there is. Let me see if there's any of that. The ones I had before that was Little Devil, which looked like could be cool.
Oh yeah, Little Devil.
Yeah, you had that. Yeah.
Yeah, I have that one. Yep.
I thought that looked cool. New 2K, which everybody knows that's gonna happen. I don't really care about that.
Yeah.
Then you're definitely missing one though. Bug Snack, the new.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if it'll be fun, but it definitely looked interesting. I thought at least the new game that from the people who made Octodad.
Yeah.
It was just looked like a fucking nightmare, but it looked. I was laughing just watching it, which I feel like is exactly what they did with Octodad. That they noticed it's just fucking nonsense.
Yeah, it looks cool.
Yeah.
I would give that a go. But Little Devil looked kind of sweet. It's
Yeah.
like a Zelda knockoff.
Then you said Deathloop, which wasn't like one of the ones that caught my eye the most. What do you think?
Not a big fan of Dishonored,
Yeah.
and that's who makes Dishonored, and it looked very similar, just with guns. I don't just because I didn't like either Dishonored, I'll probably stay away from this one unless it's so amazing you can't avoid it. I might grab it at like a. That's actually how I bought Dishonored 2 was a Black Friday sale.
Oh, really?
Yeah, if it's cheap, I might grab it.
No, I hear you. I was so excited for Dishonored, and all the reviews were saying it was like BioShock and like this and like all these different games I love, and I was like, oh, it's gonna be fucking awesome. And I could not get into it at all, kind of for the same reason. You can't really play that game. There's only one real way to play that. Everybody said they liked it because you could play it so many different ways, but I felt like if you weren't stealthy, you were kind of screwed.
Oh yeah.
But I did like the idea of it, and the world seemed cool, so that's actually a game I've considered going back to and see if it has the BioShock effect where I come back and I'm like, what the hell was I missing? This game's so easy and so good, but I don't know if that'll actually happen if I even do it. But so that does have me a little bit worried because I had the same excitement for that game and it didn't get me anywhere. But this game caught my attention more because I feel like the art style is way more my style, and I thought it looked really cool. And the mechanics definitely, right away, all of us thought it kind of looked like Dishonored. So I feel like the mechanics are definitely like that. But I do feel like it looks different to me. I don't feel like it's going to... It looks more like an action shooter than kind of like a stealthy strategic game. I could be wrong, but I feel like it might be a little easier in that as play style at least. And
yeah.
I didn't completely understand the whole 8 or 7 boss thing they were saying, but it sounded cool. I was going to say how it sounded awesome and go on about it, but I can't really do that because I don't truly understand it, but I did think it seemed like a cool idea. Kind of remind me of Scott Pilgrim.
Oh yeah, I could see that. I did like the premise of like you dying a bunch in the game, taking that into play.
Yeah, do you think that's actually like a Prince of Persia mechanic where you actually rewind it, or do you think that's just a bad... I thought that'd be a really cool, because I've never seen that in a shooter, but that'd be kind of cool in a way to not get so frustrated with if you make one wrong step, and if it is.
Oh yeah.
That's a cool idea to be able to rewind time, and I guess time shifted a little bit, but that game wasn't very popular, and I don't feel like it did completely like that.
I thought more of like restarting the level each time. That's what I meant, like going back in time.
Yeah, that
Or
could
going
be.
back to a checkpoint.
Which, if what they're saying about PS5 is true, it's supposed to be like instant. So I guess maybe rewind doesn't even matter as much if load times are really what they're saying they're gonna be, because it's not like a 30-second wait like it normally is.
Yeah.
And then next I have, let's see if it lines up with yours, Village, the new Resident Evil game.
Yeah. I got Resident Evil 4 vibes from it, like the village and the way stuff looked. But there was something in there that threw me off and definitely was like, this is Castlevania? What the hell is this? Did you see the werewolf thing?
Yeah.
That's nuts, dude. I didn't know that those existed in the Resident Evil universe, and I don't think they do. So I think this is a new character type. But I think those games have gotten so far away from zombies.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But I'm not caught up enough in the Resident Evil franchise to... my girlfriend bought me the first. Well, I know it's not technically 1 through 4, but the first actual 4 games are Resident Evil remasters for the Xbox.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then because they're remaking 4, but there's also a remaster.
Yeah.
But so I'd be happy to go back and play them. It looks cool. I think almost all of them are available now on current generations.
Yeah, it seems like it. I'm definitely not caught up either, but there's also been plenty of Resident Evil games I've tried and have not liked at all. So for me, I'm never gonna get caught up. But the one I really did like was 7. I feel like this kind of
7, really?
yeah.
Wow.
I feel like this has 7 vibes to me.
Oh, 7. My mind went to 6.
Oh yeah, I know a
I
lot
was
of
like,
people.
who the fuck? Someone likes 6?
The one with the giraffe giving the girl a head
Yep.
or getting girl
Yeah.
from the head.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But
People are probably really confused by that. If you go look at the logo of Resident Evil 6, it's a giraffe giving head. Getting head.
yeah,
right?
receiving. Yeah, that's why I'm the one that got y'all mixed up. God, I have something written here that says Calvin 2022, but I know that was a release date because it caught me off guard that there was a game that was that far out, and I know it was Bethesda, but I don't feel like that was a full name. Because I said I was catching bits and pieces. Shit, I need to get a note. That's why I was trying. That's why I've been on my phone half time trying to look stuff up as I go, which is why I want to have better notes as we go. So that way, we just have it set up.
For some reason, it keeps bringing up an apartment complex in Bethesda. Is that Virginia or Maryland? Bethesda?
Maryland, yeah.
Maryland. That was the crazy part about being in DC was like all the subway lines are like, I think one of the final stops was Bethesda. I was like, dude, I'm this close.
Yeah.
Like, I'm on the subway. I could just sit here and drive there. Is it called Calvin?
Maybe have that part run too. That'd be funny.
I feel like you're right though. I kind of remember that. Oh, it just keeps bringing up the Calvin and Hobbes video game. Let's see, PS5. So they have. Wow, they're doing a lot, man. So they're technically doing the Deathloop, Ghostwire Tokyo. Are you sure that it's Bethesda?
Yeah, I'm making that part up because I didn't have that part as a note. I just thought it was. Let's see.
And do PS5 game announcements. Let's see what they. Let's see. CNET's got a good organized list of everything that went on.
Oh, I think I got it.
You got it?
Yeah. So.
Oh, we're missing one in there.
What is it?
Stray, that cat one.
Oh yeah.
They didn't show much though.
I was gonna say, seemed like cool idea, but yeah, I kind of like. I think I even said at the time it seemed like that fit the in the last Xbox press conference where you saw it, but you're like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah.
I felt that was one thing this did better. There was a few that I was like, I don't really know what that was, but for the most part, I feel like you could understand majority of the games they were showing.
I just scrolled past Goodbye Volcano High again. Nasty looking things.
Oh, it's Capcom's new game, and I remember us saying that. And this is actually the one with this is a space one where it starts out in like New York City and then goes up because there's another cat with her, and we're like, what the hell, another cat game?
Yeah.
But
what's it called?
Jeez, I didn't look at the name.
Yeah, it looks cool. I definitely thought, like you said, that was definitely the Dead Space.
Yeah, I don't know if he's still with EA because they're the ones who made Dead Space. I don't know if that announcement was made for EA Play next Thursday.
Okay.
Not that means it's a Dead Space game, but maybe he still works for him. So I don't know where the hell I got Calvin. I don't know if they said that name because this just says Pragmata, and it says coming to. Oh, see, this one is PS5, Series X, and PC, so it's not even a PS5 exclusive.
I think we're missing another game. What was the other one where it was like... Oh, this might have been the first one, the rewinding thing. It was like something like... We made fun of it because it's not an actual word.
Oh,
it was like...
Yeah.
I forget.
Shit. I thought that one looked really cool, I'm pretty sure, too.
Like reverse.
Damn it. CS just teach us to do better notes, I guess, eh?
That's right. It was like reverse something.
Yeah, because I know, like you said, everybody's making fun of the name on that. If you want, I guess we could bring it up next week,
Okay.
hopefully. The next one I had was actually the last one, at least for me, as far as games, was Horizon 2 Forbidden Forest. And
Yep.
I haven't played the first one, but I've only heard good things, and I love Gorilla. I think Killzone is a super underrated FPS series, and Horizon looked amazing, so this one, again, looked amazing to me.
I can't believe how quick they made it.
Yeah.
It's weird to think about. I never didn't play the first one. You probably noticed me close my ears during that. It's because I think on the couch there were some people that were there were talking the first one spoilers, and I was like, oh god, I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, I think so. It was, like I said, so loud and everything going on that I actually didn't plug my ears, but I didn't hear anything. I just like, because I was guessing you're doing that, but I was like, it's so loud that I can actually just stay sidetracked. It's kind of nice.
Yeah, because I got real nervous because I haven't played the first one, so this one doesn't mean too much to me. I know that's a liked game, so I'm happy for that.
You said how it's weird how fast they made it. Also, one thing caught my eye is that, at least on the trailer, it didn't show a release date, so I wonder if this game is not as close as it might seem, and everybody just ignoring it because they're so excited that they saw it that they didn't really process that maybe it's not very soon at all.
Wasn't this rumored too to be a PS4 game?
I didn't remember that as possible though.
I heard the sequel to Horizon actually started out as a PS4 game. This is a complete rumor that I could be making up, but I think it was supposed to start out as a PS4 game, which is weird to think about because that means they'd have to make it really quick.
Yeah. Also, I definitely got the name wrong, so good thing I looked it up. It's Horizon Forbidden West, so I don't know how the hell I put that down. Did you notice, I said it, but I don't know if anybody knows him, that they had a big time, well, not huge, but a known actor as one of the playable characters, or one of the characters in it.
No.
His name's Lance Riddick. I'll show you him. They had his exact character model, not just his voice. That's how I knew it was him right away. I was like, that's fucking weird, and it stands out since all these people are just not no names, but just video game characters. I can put a picture up, I guess, as well.
Oh yeah, I've seen him before.
Yeah, the character model looked just like him. That seems almost distracting unless you're gonna have everybody be like that. I feel like who does it? I'm the one that reminded you of their name last time. People made Heavy Rain, Quantic Dream. I feel like theirs would make sense because they kind of go for a realistic theme and have actors in it. But I feel like in a game like that kind of seems odd to have a real actor mixed with a ton of video game models.
I could see that. Kind of like Halo Reach.
Yeah.
What was his name?
Nathan Fillion.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that fit a little more just because they all still look like it. You obviously know him if you know him.
Or no, that was ODST.
Yeah.
Not Reach.
I think he did. No, it was 5 that he was in. Since he was back in it again. But I feel like that fits a little more because it still can, unless you know him, and just let's say generic army soldier. I feel like this guy. I feel like everybody looks so wild in Horizon that just seeing a normal guy seems kind of odd to me.
Yeah, he almost looks like a librarian, like a professor.
Yeah.
Him being a professor, not a.
Then it ended with finally showing the console.
Yeah.
So what do you think?
It's okay.
It's okay?
I'm glad it looks a little different. It's kind of weird that they're using white. Little switch up there. I think that controller's going to get real nasty. I said that before. I feel like the console will as well. Thank God it's not glossy. So last generation, both of them were glossy. They just picked up on all kinds of scratches. It looks okay. Kind of odd. Almost like an Alienware product. Nothing real too crazy. I think remembering like the PS4 announcement, gosh, it feels so recent, but so long ago at the same time. I felt the same way, like, whoa, this looks so futuristic. But then after having it for so long, you forget that it doesn't. It becomes normal. So, I don't, nothing too crazy sticking out. I think it looks a little bit more, or definitely a lot easier to incorporate on your entertainment stand than the new Xbox.
Yeah.
I don't know how that thing's going to work. They both, it's funny because one looks like a router and one looks like a modem. Put them beside each other. Be like, oh, is this where you get your internet? You know what I'm talking about, dude?
Yeah.
The Xbox is a modem and the PS5 is a damn router.
No, I could see that. It's weird though, cause I feel like I almost feel opposite about the PS5. I feel like it does look super futuristic and really caught my eye. I'm not shocked because I've said all along I thought it was gonna be very different after those leaks came out. I never believed those. I didn't think it was true, but as soon as we saw a controller and I saw how different it was and saw that it was mainly white, that's what I said all along. So this thing has to look entirely different and mainly white. Otherwise, this is weird to have the controller like this and advertise as much as they're putting it out there. So, I actually thought it looked really clean and really cool and does look futuristic. And I definitely, yeah, I think you always, anytime there's new tech, you're always like, oh, this is the future and seems so different. But I feel like this is the first time that either generations look completely, truly different. And especially the PS5, the Xbox, the size and shape is different, but I feel like you can still be like, yeah, it's kind of supposed to say a black box. This thing has multicolors and I don't know, just it does actually look futuristic and different to me. And I like the way the Xbox looks too. I like that they both do look different because I feel like I said, people for years talk about how they never are creative and always make the same black boxes, and then they do something different, and everybody talks about how they just stick with what they do. I do think it's weird, and I almost thought maybe they were going to change it because of feedback, which I would have been bummed because I can't stand when people just change things when they obviously believed in it. But I don't know if you noticed, I meant to talk about it last week when talking about the event getting postponed, but all the advertising they did for it was a black controller. I don't know if you noticed that.
No.
Which I was like, oh, so maybe they reverted back. And I do think it'd be cool, and I'm sure they're going to have different models anyways with collector's editions or whatever, but to have a black model that looks like a traditional PlayStation, I think that'd be cool, and have the black controller they showed off. It just looks like more like a DualShock because of it. I do think it'd be cool to have that, but I feel like that would be better as like a special edition. I feel like the main one, sticking to their guns and doing something different, even though it's going to get some backlash, I feel like it's really cool.
Yeah, I'm excited to see some special editions.
Yeah.
Like that. Especially the controller.
Yeah, and the lights that go up too. I think they can do some really cool stuff if they are okay changing it. I don't know if they're going to be weird and make you stick to certain things. I know we talked about it a little bit while we were watching it. It makes sense. Obviously, I get it. But the digital version looks so much cleaner because you don't have to have a disk drive. And I'm definitely going to buy the physical version. So it sucks because that thing is definitely just, I feel like objectively it obviously looks not as clean as the digital version.
I really hope this happens, but I could see it also happening. I think the digital ones are going to sit on the shelf.
You think so?
Yeah, kind of like the Switch lights.
Yeah, I hope so. And I feel like the biggest thing will be how much of a price difference it is. I feel like if it's like $50, well, that's why the price of the game. But even adding like another 50 and taking it to 100, I feel like people are like, oh, I could save $100, and no way I'm buying that thing. Especially parents thinking about, well, if they talk to Best Buy, GameStop, or whatever, then, well, what do you do it? And I'll just download, and well, he plays Fortnite and downloads all of his games, so we can just get him that.
Yeah.
But what do you think about? I thought it was really weird they did this, but showed off the accessories and so over the top about a charging station and the media remote and headset. What do you think about all that?
Felt like a throwback.
Yeah.
Especially the media remote. Jesus, I thought we were done with those.
Uh-huh.
That's fine with me though, especially because what's funny to think about, I think right now for when we get into pickups, I picked up a 4K DVD that it kind of makes sense for me at this point where I want to pick up a 4K DVD player to just pick up one of the new consoles.
Yeah.
So if they continue that, that media remote makes sense, especially if you're watching stuff, streaming stuff to it. I was gonna get some more Amazon TVs, man, but I was like, I have so many consoles. I could just start plugging in consoles and start using those. So the media remote's kind of cool. I think the headset looks cool, and it's kind of nice having Sony branded stuff because sometimes when those attachments or those products come out, it's usually third party and they're not the greatest, and they don't look like the consoles. But to have a full line that matches the consoles, I think that's cool.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. I just like you said, I feel like it was a really weird way to show that off and make it so over the top, like it was some majestic thing.
Yeah.
Do you think any of that's included in the box? I don't know if you heard some of our friends are like, no, I think you get all that. I don't think there's any fucking chance you get any of that.
I could see maybe GameStop doing a bundle for like $1,000 or something.
Yeah, but I don't think it's gonna be like the normal box you could buy. I think the normal box will have the game, well, not the game, the controller, all the wires, everything, and then the system, and that's it.
I think you could be. I could see some bundles where you get extra controller, all of those attachments, and the console for $1,000. If any of them came with the console, I think it'd be the charging stand, maybe.
Yeah.
And that one looks like the most usable for me because I don't need a headset. I'm just excited to see who wins the digital or physical.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be physical, man. People, it's just not going to make sense. I think if they're going to be more sought after, I think PlayStation might make a little too many of the digitals.
Yeah.
It's weird to split right off. I'm trying to think of a console that did that right off of a release that already immediately have two versions.
Yeah, I don't know. They need to have.
The only one that comes to mind is the 360 with arcade versus what was the other one called? They didn't initially call them arcades either.
You're just talking about the
two different sizes.
Yeah.
One didn't have a hard drive. One had a hard drive.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah.
Eventually, it became the arcade.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm interested to see who wins that. I would never buy something that doesn't have a disk drive.
Yeah. Like I said, as much as I hate that it doesn't look nearly as clean, yeah, I definitely want the disk drive. And yeah, I don't think there's any way you're getting any of that in the box. And though, no, you'll at least get the headset because even the PS4 came with that. I was like, yeah, but that thing was a little wired thing. This is like what we're wearing. And also then I was like, actually, I bet you don't even fucking get a little wired one because they're probably going to want to advertise their built-in mics that are going to be fucking terrible unless they have some crazy technology we don't know about, which I hope they do. But
use those boxed ones too. Those are horrendous. Those are just
I've never even used mine. I was going to say they are, but I actually have no idea. But I guess that tells you because I haven't even used them and they're free.
Gosh, man. You can usually tell who's using them too. Or the Kinects. Don't even get me started on the Kinect.
Yeah.
Some people have their Kinect plugged in, didn't even know it. Having conversations, not even realize they're just blaring over a whole lobby.
I was bummed, not completely surprised, but bummed that VR wasn't talked about once. And
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, I don't know if they're just going to abandon that, even though it's the best-selling VR unit, or if they said they're going to show much more on PS5 if they just didn't think that was the right time, and probably would be weird to show VR without being able to do anything in person, because it's already awkward enough, just all digital. But and I thought it especially weird when they showed, we actually missed one of the accessories. They showed off a new HD camera. Now, what is this camera going to be? Was this just for streaming? Is that, or, because I feel like, as much as I love PSVR, there's definitely restrictions with it because the tech is so old compared to what VR has evolved to now.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if they're going to have a new headset, which would be cool, but at the same time, kind of suck for mine. Or if they're going to let you use that, but then if you want like the next generation of it, you got to get that. Because I'm pretty sure they said that your old VR would work with it, but like I said, they seem like at least going off of this, they abandoned VR, so it's hard to tell.
Well, something else is lacking too is a price.
Yeah.
They didn't tell prices of anything or the VR. I forgot all about the VR. I think that rumor that VR 2 is on its way. I think they're gonna make that. Because I think they're done with handhelds. I think they're gonna focus on.
Oh,
VR
me too.
2.
Sadly. Did you expect a price? I didn't expect a price at this.
I did.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know why. I was like, yeah, definitely a price.
Yeah, I just definitely didn't think they're gonna. And if they did, the only way I feel like they would have is if the price can be so much lower than people think, just to be like, holy shit, and get people talking, which it probably is not going to be. So I feel like they're just waiting as long as they possibly can to be like, yeah, it's not that cheap. And then people are like, what? Even though it's pretty obvious they're not going to be that cheap.
Well, I think, when was PS4 announced? Was it E3 2014 or 13?
I think 13.
Yeah, I think it was 13. They announced a price then, I'm pretty sure, for both.
Did they?
Yeah, because I think so, because that was the beginning of the downfall for Xbox, because it was more.
Yeah.
I think they did, so that's kind of why I was expecting it. I thought for certain we were getting a price.
Huh.
Which would be nice, because I know Xbox will be somewhere right around there. I could start saving up, because I kind of want both at launch. But right now, man, I don't see a reason to buy PS5 at launch now that I think about it.
Really?
If I had to choose, definitely Xbox. I'm not making that mistake again.
Yeah, I guess that's part of why I didn't think it happened, because they have done an E3 before, but I feel like they always know all the competition's around, and it's all going to be like day and day, not like the next day somebody's going to announce it. And I feel like everything's so spaced out right now that they're both kind of trying to compete with each other and wait it out.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't really expect a price.
You need to read Console Wars.
Yeah.
Because you realize, like, this course is in the 90s, but you realize how fly by the night is.
Yeah.
Because, like, Sega got word that Nintendo was doing something, and, like, literally they stayed up overnight and changed everything to prepare for it. Like, Sega did some dirty stuff. This is not really spoilers. It's just historical fact. They found a distributor that finally announced, like, what Nintendo was doing, and it was a price change. So Sega executives stayed up all night and changed their prices. So I think you're right. They're just sitting around waiting. Like, you go first.
Yeah.
You go. And trust me, all their branding would change if they found out they were more.
Yeah.
That's capitalism, man.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to get I obviously would love to have both of them out launch, but I said all along that PS5 would be later unless something completely blew me away, and I'm sure Spider-Man will be good, but like I said, I expected that, and I didn't expect Little Big Planet, but I don't need that right away. Resistance was something that not would change it, but definitely would factor into, especially if it was a brand new Resistance, not a collection, but that didn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
Horizon, who knows when that's going to happen, and I haven't even beat the first one yet, and then like I said, I didn't even really think about it until I looked at the article, but I'm sure a handful, if not more, of the games we're seeing aren't PS5 exclusive anyways, so.
Or launch.
Yeah. I'd have to look at release dates. I don't really know what else was supposed to be a launch game besides Spider-Man, which if you have Spider-Man, you don't really need many launch games if you have something that big, but I still don't know what else there would be. I do think, actually comparing right now, as much as I want to get the Xbox first, I'm going to, no matter what, I feel like it's hard for Xbox to really have the edge just because everything they're going to release is going to be on the current gen. So I feel like it makes it a little harder to be like, well, this is going to be because obviously it's factual. You can't play Spider-Man 2 or any of these giant games on PS4.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's a weird argument to make because Xbox is going to do that.
Yeah. I agree. I think I'd rather get an Xbox One X and the new Xbox before I got a PS5 at this point.
Really?
Yeah, at first I was like, yeah, I'll get them. As long as, like, only debt I have left student loans, and that's getting pretty chipped away. And I was like, if I can get that paid off this summer, I would get, and the house stuff calms down, because we need so much stuff done in the house, I would consider getting them both. But now, there's nothing that really got me excited for a PS5. I'm fine, because there's still so many PS4 games I gotta play, exclusives.
Yeah.
Before I get a PS5, for me to even care. Nothing too crazy came out that I can't wait for.
Gotcha. Well, I was going to end this part of it by asking what you thought overall and your impressions of the conference. I feel like that was kind of a tease at it, but.
Yeah, I wanted a price. It seemed to go fast.
Yeah.
Wish they would have had more talking. We could have taken more cringe shots. But it was okay. Yeah,
that's well, I guess we talked about it on here how we do E3 and the shots and everything, so we didn't talk about that. But that was one of my biggest disappointments. Not really a criticism of the conference, and actually probably a compliment if you really think about it. But the fact that I didn't finish one energy drink because there's not enough cringe, and yeah, it was only an hour, which I heard was rumored, but I feel like that's happened a lot with these conferences and almost never true. So I was hoping that was untrue, and unfortunately, it was. So that bummed me out, but like I said, I kind of thought that was a possibility since I heard the rumor. And but aside from things like that are kind of out of their control, well, actually, I guess I could talk a minute about the cringiness and everything, because that does go into it. I feel like as much as I love that stuff, and I'm not saying I prefer this and everyone needs to do it this way now because I know that's what happens, but I do feel like, just talking objectively, I feel like it actually did go really well and smooth for the most part. And like, I don't know if you saw Colin's tweet. I don't know if you heard on the podcast. I was going to tell you because it's very funny, and he made it even funnier than we did. We were talking about how terrible Xbox cameras were and everything. Did you hear that? When he was talking about, yeah, did you see what he tweeted tonight? Yeah, talking about how he's just, the games look great, but that's not really matters. What matters, because Sony didn't make it look like they're operating Al Qaeda. And I was like, but I will say one thing. He said Al Qaeda, and I was like, oh geez, I can't believe Colin would say Al Qaeda. But so I feel like, just objectively, they actually did do a really good job with what they had with it. And I actually, overall, as far as games, I was impressed. Like, so there was things that I was bummed they didn't talk about and wish it would show, but just as far as a layout of games and judging that, I feel like we're all kind of talking a lot. We're all excited. And I know it's not comparable. I think more fair comparison would be Xbox event in July, but like the last event they had compared to this, so there's no match. That thing was a fucking disaster compared to this. There was a handful of games in this one where that was kind of weird, or I'm not interested in that at all, or what was that? But I feel like that was 90% of the Xbox conference. Like when we tried to talk about it, we're like, shit, how do we even talk about this thing? Because I don't know what this was. I don't know what the fuck this was. This one, I feel like majority of the games are like, yeah, I could see what that is, or we know what that is because there's already a game to it. So I feel like just based off of that, I was impressed, even though there's definitely things that I would have changed and things that I missed out on. Like I said, not speaking objectively, wanting it to be a disaster for our enjoyment.
It's always the best part, though.
Yeah. And then a couple of things that I didn't talk about or didn't go as much into last week that I was going to talk about that you might be interested in. Did you see the Game Gear Micro announcement?
Yeah.
Are you all about that?
It's too little, man. What the
That's
hell?
the thing that I don't think I emphasized last week, which was a main point I meant to bring up. I might post a picture in this because I know it's called Micro, but yeah, that's, if you hold it in your palm, it's like this big. It was, what the fuck? And
So
that's
dumb.
it is very dumb, and in that sense, but I feel like that makes it clear that it is obviously supposed to be a collector's item and not really a playable thing, which I get that kind of defeats the purpose of a playable thing, but I feel like that's definitely what they're going for, and I feel like at the collector's thing, it is a cool idea, and to be able to see something and compare it to like what it was to what it is now, and having 4 games built into it compared to having to put a cartridge that's bigger than, that's, I didn't even think about this now, the cartridge for the original Game Gear is bigger than the Game Gear Micro, which is fucking great.
I mean, I could see this one being kind of rare. I think they made too many Sega Genesis minis.
You think that's the route it's going to go? I said one or two ways. I think it's going to be something that goes real quick, especially like maybe certain colors, and maybe the blue ones around certain a little longer and the black ones go on right away or something like that.
Yeah.
Or I feel like it's going to be the reverse, and you're going to find them at Five Below and everything like that. I didn't know which way it would go.
Yeah, I don't know either. There is a company that I think is doing these if you wanted to copy somebody, I forget the name of them, but they make little arcade cabinets. They're small, but they're pretty realistic.
Oh, yeah.
I forget, they're like $100 a piece, but they're really cool. I would consider picking up one. I thought it'd be cool to make a mini arcade, get like an arcade carpet.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Put them on there.
May get like some gerbils or something, and then let them stand on it. Like, oh, look. Do a YouTube channel of the gerbils playing, doing Let's Play of the arcade games.
Yeah. So, and I'm like, I love those, but man, I did not like the Micro. But then I thought about it, I was like, I really wouldn't play those arcade games
Yeah.
like that. So you're right, it's a collector's item. So of course I'd love to have one. Sega, you want someone out for us to review?
Yeah, pretty micro.
But then you think about a Game Boy Micro. That was small, but yet still manageable.
Oh, yeah, that thing was like the size of your palm instead of fitting.
I wanted one so bad.
Yeah, I did too.
Now they're really rare.
Oh, really?
If you see one out there, pick it up. It's probably the most expensive Game Boy.
Yeah, I had multiple chances at it, even, I was going to say late,
Right.
but relatively late.
Yeah, and one of the color variations, I literally saw a set at a GameStop forever and just get more and more discounted. And it's one of the rare color variations now. It's disgusting to think about the stuff I could have bought or kept. And yeah, you can't think about that stuff because it drives me nuts.
So,
yeah.
You think you're going to buy a Micro or buy all of them? Or?
I don't know, man. I want to. If these student loan things are paid off and
Yeah.
if you think settled, I'd love buying all that stuff. Even if it just sits on a shelf and is like accumulating media. But yeah, I would love to buy one. Of course, I just still think it's way too small.
No, I'm with you.
Even if you wanted to redesign the original one, I feel like the original one was pretty good size. And maybe you do like a combination between the Nomad and the Game Gear. Because I have a bunch of Game Gears and I have a Nomad. I was lucky enough to find them at flea markets real cheap. Combine them to where you have Genesis and your Game Gear games all in one console. You may put the Master System games on there. Why the thing is so small?
That's why I didn't watch my episode because, I never watched mine, but I feel like I was just like, yeah, the Game Boy Micro, and started talking about colors and everything. And then later I was like, shit, did I really not emphasize the biggest point about that I was trying to make about that it was fucking ridiculously small?
But you're used to that, though. Too easy.
I was thinking about just sitting here in silence and seeing how long it go. I know there's some other things from the other episode I missed, but like I said, I don't watch them myself, so I can't remember. So I guess we can move on to the start of the normal show, but because I think there's probably not much for me this week. I don't know about you, but did you have any corrections, questions, or feedback?
No.
I
think it's kind of crazy. When I started the episode before my phone fucked up, when I was walking at work, how good that mic is on that headset.
Oh, it threw me off because I was wearing a different one. I wear a different one for that. But no, I know what you mean. I was just waiting for this one. Yeah, that's I'm glad to hear that. I also couldn't be more happy to be in person because no matter how good the headsets are, there's just always that bit of lag or the bit of like I feel like you always heard me later than I was talking, and then I feel like you always talk over each other. Like, wait, what? And there's like not a natural conversation. So I'm glad to hear that. But yeah, I couldn't be more happy to be able to have a natural conversation because even if you're both trying your hardest to listen to everything, I feel like I said, just inherently online, it's impossible because you always kind of gotta, I don't know, be like looking out for the other person because they're, oh shit, are they gonna do something?
Yeah,
it's a little weird. So I guess that's a bit of feedback. Also, the one nice thing about doing it online was I could cough whenever I wanted and not do it because I just press the mute button and then cough, which probably looked, I don't know if anybody knows, probably looked really weird because I press every time and then I would clearly cough but nothing would come out. But I thought that was better than blowing out people's eardrums every time I talked or every time I coughed. But if you have any corrections, questions, or feedback, you can, as always, send it to currentbackloggers@gmail.com. And then, did you have any news aside from the conference, obviously?
No, nothing I could think of.
I just had two small things. I don't know if you saw, but 343 announced they're bringing ODST Firefight to the Master Chief Collection this summer.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, and I was super excited about that because I don't know if you remember I said how weird that is.
Oh my god, why is it getting worse?
It sounds good now, yeah. I always thought it was weird that I was not in there, and then only got weirder when they added the Reach Firefight. I was like, why the hell would you add the one that happened after it and not have the one before unless you just want the newest thing so people play it? But I thought it was really cool that they were going to add that, and it was this summer. But of course, normal gamer things, they always talk about how they don't care this when they add it as long as they add it, and then they announced they're going to add it, and everybody complained that it was 5 years too late. These motherfuckers. And it's also a free update for a game that's been out, 5 years now probably?
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck do you want? And there's like 6 games on this thing now. And then the only other news I had was, did you see Destiny's 2 event? I didn't actually watch it. I just saw a trailer of cutting stuff together. But they announced their next 3 expansions that go all the way up to 2022. It was like an SNL skit watching it because they showed starting at 2014 with Destiny. It was actually a really cool trailer than they did every year of like what an expansion or a big update or whatever. So it was a really well done trailer. But then it was like in 2020 and it announced the new expansion. I was like, oh cool. And I almost shut it off. And 2021 and new expansion 2022. What the fuck?
10 years of gaming.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's actually part of why I brought it up. I was like, on our old podcast, they're actually gonna. That's why I always mocked it. So this is so fucking. There's no way, but it actually seems like it's gonna happen, and I feel like shows how much gaming has changed, how much it has changed. Because like I said, even then I was that, and I feel like you laughed at too. That obviously I was playing it up and just thought it was a funny skit, but I also think that at the time that was so unrealistic. So I feel like that also shows how smart Bungie is that they could think that far ahead to see where gaming was going to go 10 fucking years ahead. Because I'm sure even by 2022 that sounds ridiculous, but there's no reason to see why Destiny would still not be popular then with the way it's been, which is crazy to think about. But and I also think it's Chris said on one of the Sacred Symbols episodes that this is essentially Destiny 3 because they were working on Destiny 3 when they were still with Activision, and then they left Activision now. Obviously, they're independent again. So he said that these will probably be massive updates, and this is going to be Destiny 3 just in 3 parts, which I feel like is really cool, but also kind of sucks in a way because I feel like people always blame the publishers, saying that developers never wanted sequels and they would just make the same game or continue to add to it, which I think most of the time the developers would probably want a completely new game too, and it's just easy to blame the billion-dollar publisher because they're the big bad guy. But I feel like this is obviously an instance where it probably was true the developer just wanted one game. I feel like it kind of makes it weird that now Destiny is split into 2 games when it's all one massive thing. I feel like the trailer even shows that because they show it from 2014 all the way to 2022, which is a ridiculous time frame. But I feel like that shows that it was obviously supposed to be one product that just evolved over time. And I think that would have been so much cooler, and I'm sure probably what they imagined and when they signed on with somebody. So it sucks that I feel like that kind of got warped by something else.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to put it. And it's easier for Activision to make money, like another collector's edition and all this extra stuff. So I see where they're coming from as well.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's why I say I feel like people go too far with that, where they just always say that it's the publisher's fault and the developer and never do that. Because I'm sure even the developers themselves a lot of times know we want to make a entirely new thing and we would like a sequel to this game. I don't think it's just always the publisher pushing it. But I feel like it's looking back on it, I feel like it's pretty clear that's probably is what happened with this.
And a sequel, people go nuts over the newest thing.
Yeah.
And I think the only time I remember people freaking out about DLC is like World of Warcraft. Like, oh, you gotta get the new expansion. I think that's what Destiny wanted to be, was a big MMO.
Yeah.
Which it is. But for Activision, it's way easier to, people want the newest thing, and no one's going to be talking about Destiny expansions like they would be talking about Destiny 3.
Yeah.
But it's nicer too because it's not a full-blown experience you have to remake or whole new system or add newer things in there without people saying this is the same thing over again.
Yeah, exactly. So these might be a little more for you since you weren't able to talk last week. What have you been playing?
What have I been playing? Dragon Warrior still. That's an incredibly grindy game. It's hard to stay focused. But I'll get through it. It's something I just play here and there while I'm waiting or at work. And got some downtime, I'll play it while I'm on break. Then I played Dreams. I played the tutorial and started building. Because that's why I got Dreams, is I wanted to build something. Jesus, It needs mouse and keyboard support ASAP. That controller controls, man. I don't like it. I think this game needs to be ported to PC ASAP. Because I like the idea of Gary's Mod, and I was like, oh, this is Gary's Mod for the PlayStation. Or I like messing around in Google SketchUp. I was like, oh, this will be SketchUp for my console, and it'll be nice and easy. I could run it, and it would take a while to learn it. I know it's possible.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not intuitive, and I'd like to try it with Move controllers. Maybe that'd be easier for me for building stuff. I haven't played anybody's things, so I want to go through and play some people's creations. But really aggravated with creating stuff. I'm definitely done creating unless it gets ported to the PC or there's mouse and keyboard support.
I'll say a few things for you continue on with your list. Yeah, that's one suggestion I was definitely going to say is I haven't done any creating, so I don't know. But the Move controllers, I feel like would be a perfect fit for that, so that might help a lot. And I feel like it is only a matter of time until mouse and keyboard comes to PC, and also probably mouse and keyboard to PS4 version. Because, yeah, I feel like it opens up to such a bigger audience. And
that's where your audience for that thing is
yeah.
on PC.
And I feel like, yeah, the creation tools are obviously there and very well done because you can see the shit. If you look what people have made, it's unbelievable. Yeah. So it's obviously there. But, yeah, for me, as much as I'd love to create stuff, and I think that's cool, that wasn't why I got it. I wanted to, like I said, with Little Big Planet, I love that game aside from creation or even playing creative stuff. I wanted to play what they made in it, Medium Molecule did, and I thought their story was really cool and, like I said, different than anything I've really played, which is rare in games now. And then also, after that, the fact that you just have an endless amount of free content from people creating stuff and it's just always updating, I think it's really cool. And then there is a creation side of that if you ever want to get into it. My issue with creation, aside from how hard it can be, is that I feel like I make something cool and then all I have to do is search and then see things are 100 times better. I'm like, oh man, I don't want to waste my time with this. People are doing way better and they just give up on it. But obviously, that's opposite what creation should be, kind of like doing a podcast or whatever. You can easily search and find 100 ones to do it better. But unless you're doing it yourself and trying to do better, then it's never going to be better.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and Gary's Mod has been around for so long, and so is SketchUp, and there is a billion hours of tutorials. Dreams does not have that. There is, it's there, but it's not to the level of what SketchUp or Gary's Mod is. So I just went back to SketchUp right after. I was like, I gotta get out of this. I can't.
I would definitely suggest playing their campaign, because I know you have been looking for different stuff too that you haven't played, and also trying to just look up the top creative stuff. But I'd definitely at least play their campaign and see what you think of it.
Yeah, I think that was another thing too that shot me as I went into the tutorial, which seemed like a expedited how to do things. And then I'll definitely go back and play some more. I was just so pissed off. I thought I was gonna hop in here and just I don't know, but it was like, man, SketchUp. My version of SketchUp is old as hell. Gary's Mod is old as hell. And why are they doing this so much better than what you guys are doing? And why is this not on PC?
I also wonder if they're still going to add the VR mode, because they said they were going to, and I feel like that could be really cool. And especially if you let people do user creative stuff in VR, you can make free VR games. That'd be so awesome.
Oh, and then I played Anthem. I went through that first.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I like it, man.
Yeah, I was going to say.
So far, pretty good.
Yeah, I would say it's a very small taste, but this seems like really promising. And so there must be something either really wrong here, or people just got their hypes way too high, which is definitely possible, hearing how people talk about that game.
The story is very similar to Destiny.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's almost verbatim.
Yeah.
I do like seeing the damage, and the shooting feels great. The flying seems super easy. The rockets, the grenades. Everything's pretty good so far.
Yeah, I think that's the thing that first caught my attention was just how fluid it seemed, because I feel like usually when games do that, where you can go from flying to shooting to landing, that it all seems kind of clunky at some point, and all of it seemed natural. I was like, oh shit, what do I do? It just all kind of flew together.
Yeah, it was easy to pick up too.
Yeah. Anything else?
No, that's it. What have you been playing?
A little bit more of Sunset Overdrive, and still really liking it, but I just need to find time to sit down and play a good amount of it, because I love it every time I play it, but I haven't played much of it this week. Some more Madden, and we got a new competitor, as I told you. Derek joined our league, so now we got 4 human players in there. And he joined the NFC side, so he's a Panthers. So Aaron doesn't just have a free ride to the Super Bowl every year now. So it should be more interesting. Played a good amount of Warzone with a few different people. I think we even played. I can't remember, though. Did we play this week?
No.
Oh. Yeah, I played with a few different people in Warzone. That was fun. I played more Destiny 2, and I feel like maybe I'm finally starting to understand it. And then as soon as I do, these massive updates are coming up. Probably going to change everything. I'm like, oh, well, there's all my progress.
That reminds me of something in the news I want to talk about was the update for Call of Duty.
Oh, yeah.
How ridiculously big it's getting. They claim that the newest update's technically only 4 gigabytes, and it's technically 60 because it's condensing things, and it's... At this point, man, we're getting close to half of my hard drive being one game. I remember laughing at the 90 of Master Chief Collection or whatever that, and it's like, oh, that's so funny, but now it's almost double that.
Yeah, especially when you're talking about a series of like 6 games compared to this one thing.
Right? And you have to have the whole thing downloaded for Warzone for some reason.
Yeah. And then played some more MCC, and I actually played some Halo 5, which I haven't played for a long time. And it's weird how much different the mechanics are in 5. I was not good at it, and I still feel like I'm good every time I played MCC, but it was fun playing it, and I forget how much I like that game until I play it, because I'm so used to being able to play the Master Chief Collection where I can just have every generation of Halo to go through. That 5 is kind of easier to not play, but I love 5, and I would say by default it's the best. The graphics have ever been, and the visuals, so had a lot of fun with that. And then I also played Star Wars Battlefront 2 with a couple of people. I already had it on Xbox One, but it was one of the free games on PlayStation Plus, and that's what they all have. And I know that game got a lot of hate, and I think part of it's fair because the original series is not what this is, but I feel like people never know how to separate things and let them be how they are, because I fucking love the first 2, the original ones. But I think these games are perfectly fine and fun for what they are. Once you can get past that they aren't what they used to be and judge them for what they are. And just had a lot of fun with it, and may realize that, like I said, that I feel like it gets way too much hate for what it is.
Graphically, they're beautiful games.
Oh, yeah.
Too.
Yeah, I feel like that's something DICE has always done. Even like Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare, it's kind of like looks kiddish, but if you look at the detail and the color and everything, that game looks fucking crazy even with something like that.
I just wished, I know they did a little bit in this Battlefront 2. I wanted more focus in the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
I know they did a little bit, and that was so much fun. But yeah.
Yeah. I actually went out of order. Do you have any gaming pickups?
Oh, do I have gaming pickups? We'll save that one for last. So, finally got to go yard sailing. Now that Corona's starting to calm down, some yard sales picked up. Little Turtle, a little area near us, had their community yard sale. I go to this yard sale. It was our first yard sale. And I start off with the normal, do you have any old video games, old computers, old DVDs, VHS tapes? Go down the whole list of stuff that I'd want or sell on eBay. And this guy's like, I got a box. He's like, do you like, what did he call them? Basically, do you like shitty movies? Like, so bad they're good? I was like, do you know who you're talking? Like, I have more shitty movies than actual DVDs. Because the thing is, with shitty movies, no streaming service picks them up.
Yeah.
So they're just stuck on physical media. So I was like, duh. And he pulls out this box of shitty DVDs, I guess is the only way to describe them. And at first I thought they were those throwaway dollar DVDs. I think some of them are, but some of them are not. Like, I'll just read off some of the titles. I think there was like, I'd say maybe 60 movies here.
Mm-hmm.
And I paid him $20 for them, but they're all horrendous. Like, one is literally called African Screams. And 2, their covers are like almost borderline porn. Like there's this one called Embryo, and it's about this guy designing his own woman. Never even heard, like The Great Rupert. He said that this guy just bought them from a website, and they were just all listed as like shitty movies, and that he ended up with them, and he doesn't want them anymore. Little Boy Lost, like never even fucking one step beyond. But I was I was looking at all of them, and these look horrendous. So what is like 60, 20? What is that? 30 cents a DVD or something, right? Is that math? Let me see. 33 cents. Wow, I was fucking on it there. So 33 cents a DVD. I got no problem paying that. Don't know what I'm gonna do with them.
I'm gonna go through. Do you think you'll watch any of them?
There'll be some I'll pick out and look at. But
yeah,
there's just something about collecting these dumbass DVDs that I really like. Like I have a shit ton of the Trauma and Tommy Wiseau and just bad movies. And then I went to another yard sale where it was like, this is why you stop at every yard sale. If there's a yard sale that has two things out there, you still get out of the car and you say, hey, you guys have any video games? And I asked, and he's like, husband's got some DVDs. And she hands me these DVDs that were like, I almost bought them because they look funny. They were like documentaries about these underground rap stars, and they just look real ridiculous. Like Underground Kings 2, Underground Kings 3, The Return of Scarface, stuff like that. And they almost look like printed at home, so it's like, this is going to be funny. But then he came outside, he's like, do you have any video games? Did you want to get rid of any of your video games? And he's like, I have some Blu-rays. And I was like, oh yeah, I'll look at your Blu-rays. And he came out with a stack of Xbox One games too, and I was like, oh shit. It's rare, like I haven't seen Xbox One games at a yard sale yet. So he brought them out, and a lot of them were scratched up and like Just Dance, and he said there was kids games. But the ones from his collection that I grabbed, he also brought out Blu-rays. I got Ready Player One on Blu-ray, which is one that I've been wanting, and Valerian I've been wanting to watch, even though people hate on it. Picked up the 4K for that. And then on the Xbox One, I picked up Monster Jam Crush It, Team Sonic Racing. See, it's called back to the beginning of the episode. Surviving Mars, and Mortal Kombat XL.
How much all that cost you?
Those were $2 a piece, and that's what I offered
Not
him.
at all.
I was gonna say $1, but I was like, I can't do that. That's too low. But they immediately accepted the $2. Like, oh shit, I should have went with the $1. But I'll pay $2 for 4K and Blu-rays that I want. And
oh no, I think Ready Player One's worth it full price. I mean, the movie's fucking awesome.
yeah.
And,
and Gremlins on Blu-ray. I picked that up as well.
It's a great movie. Talking cable TV.
Yeah, exactly. And Mortal Kombat XL by itself is $11. Surviving Mars is something similar. Monster Jam Crush It's like $20 on price charting. And then Team Sonic Racing is randomly like $25.
Yeah, that's I've only played the demos, but the Sonic racers are always good if you like kart racers.
Really?
Yeah, so that makes sense.
I mean, I even picked it up, I was like, even if I wanted to resell this, it'd be, these are definitely worth it. But that's why you always ask, because he wouldn't have brought them out. There's a lot more there, but his kids really, like, they almost like ice skating with him. I would have bought everything if they were in good condition.
Yeah.
Then went to another yard sale with this, you would have liked her, she's super Bostonian accent.
Nope.
She was telling me this gentleman, he was here earlier. He had taken the speakers. I had speakers out here. I had $100 on them. He tells me, oh, I'm going to go load it. She's telling me her whole life story about this guy that stole her speakers. It was real fucked up because they were her boyfriends that passed away, and they meant a lot to her, and this guy just stole them. If you're a piece of shit and you steal from a yard sale, that's pretty low, man. But she had Pee-wee's Big Adventure and Big Top Pee-wee, so that's both the movies. But for some reason, Big Top Pee-wee, I think, is out of print and only on DVD, so I picked those up for $1.
Oh, you guys are worth it for free to have nightmares.
But yeah, so then my dumb DVDs. And then I'm kind of going back right now. Xbox 360 is kind of hitting at I think the lowest point. I picked up Fallout 3's Collector's Edition.
Very nice.
Picked it up so it's the Fallout 3 Collector's Edition with both expansions, individual expansions, collectors, with like Vault Boy posters, and these things are in mint condition. Picked it up for, I won the auction at $31. I thought for sure this guy's not sending it out.
Whoops.
But he sent it out. It's in the mail right now. And then I got Fallout New Vegas Collector's Edition, which is probably the rarest of all the Fallout Collector's Editions. I picked that up for $100. I know this sounds like a lot, but for that version, it's not too bad. And then probably the biggest thing I picked up, there's a YouTuber I like that I met him in Florida once, and he's got a shop at a flea market that's shutting down, and he's not doing so hot, and he's kind of losing his business. So I shot him an offer for Job Simulator, and I picked it up.
Oh, did you?
$80. I think 90 after shipping, which sounds like a lot, but that game is just going up, 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 and up. And I felt like I was helping him out. And I had some extra PayPal money. This is all. Both Fallouts and Job Simulator was bought with eBay money, so it's literally not free money. I work for it, but it's not coming out of my paychecks.
Do you plan on keeping Job Simulator? Did you want to collect it, or? Yeah,
I'm gonna collect it. And I was like, it's perfect. I'll bring it over to Casey's and we can play it with this VR. Eventually, I want to get a VR too.
Well, I have you can definitely do that, but I have the digital version.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, so if you're one to do that for me, definitely don't open or anything.
Oh, it's already opened.
Oh,
that's another reason I got it, because it was opened. Sealed ones are like $200, I think.
That's what I thought.
But yeah, I'm just going through right now, just buying dumb shit at Goodwill and reselling it and buying stuff I want. Because thrift stores now realize video games are rare. While I was at yard sales, like old guys that have nothing to do with video games, like, you have any video games here? So it's like you can't find them anymore. But I realized if I resell these things, I can still technically getting them.
Yeah.
And it's nice because it doesn't come out of my paycheck. It's little fun adventures too out there. Like I found a little handheld game thing, like Solitaire or something, or I don't even know what it is. The damn thing sells for brand new in a package like $100 for no reason, like $90 or something like that. So right now I'm saving up. I think I'm gonna get Alan Wake Collector's Edition next, and maybe Fallout 76 Collector's Edition. I'm not sure where I want to shoot next, or the Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 Collector's Edition with the night vision goggles. So I'm saving up some more eBay sales to do that.
I gotcha.
But yeah, so once again, I just bought more fucking shit. But this week I felt like I actually got through a decent amount of my backlog as I add way more to it.
Yeah. Before I talked about my pickups, you brought up Call of Duty. I know people were talking about how they thought it was going to be shown at the PS5 reveal because they've been on PlayStation's boat since the beginning of PS4. So do you think that's going to change? You think they're going to be back to Xbox and that's why I didn't show it? Or you think they're going to be show PS5 later or have their own event?
I don't know. It'd be kind of cool if they're back on Xbox though.
Yeah.
Oh, I did forget to pick up. I bought Modern Warfare off you.
Oh, that's true. Yep.
Just another game, Just add that to the list. That was also purchased with eBay money.
There you go.
So yeah, there you go. If you're not making enough money at work to buy the things you want, just pick up a side hustle like
whoring yourself out.
Yeah. Selling people's shit on eBay.
Yeah, or that. That's probably the safer option. So I don't have any gaming pickups this week, but I told you I bought the Elgato HD 60.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I'm going to start streaming. I don't know how it'll go.
You're going to be great.
And I've never done it, so bear with me. I know a few people are actually watching they did a test stream of it on our YouTube channel, and a few people were actually watching when I did it.
Really?
So, yeah, I'm sure it was all people.
Did you know them?
It didn't say who it was, which hopefully that's just me not knowing what I'm doing, so it kind of sucks if you can't tell who's in there. But I'm sure it was. People had just got notification that are subscribed to us, but still, it was kind of cool just going online and immediately seeing people join. But I don't expect that. I'm sure if I start doing it, nobody will be there for a while, and that might be better so I can get a hang of what I'm doing. But
and you got a good deal on that thing too, man.
Yeah, I got it for $140 when they're almost always $180 or more.
Yeah.
Randomly at Myers on there. Clearance tables are out in the middle that usually have fucking baseball bat and like a old iPhone 7 cases and stuff nobody's gonna buy anymore.
You made me go out and check mine.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. I was like, let's go see what else is out there.
Yeah, I look every time, but I don't even know why. Well, I guess now it worked out, but I really don't know why I do, because every time it's just dumb shit like that is never good.
Especially when they usually leave stuff out like that, it gets stolen.
Yeah. Or, yeah, I thought it was going to be something where I take it up and, it's not supposed to be this price, even though it was on there. I was waiting for that. But, yeah, as much as I don't know, I'm not even trying to be a downer or feel like, encourage me. I just, my humor, for one, I don't know how it goes with live stream or if it even fly, especially on YouTube. And then also, even my play style, I feel like streaming is such a particular thing where you gotta be like so over the top and like a show. And I feel like when I play games, you know how I play, I take my time and go slow. And like when people play games with me, like, oh, you're going the wrong way, I do almost every time, because I hate going the right way, because then if you the wrong way and something back there, you don't know what's there. So I like always try and go the opposite of what I should do. And I feel like everybody's just gonna, with how people watch streams, oh, he doesn't know what he's doing. And I don't care if people judge me. I'm just saying, I feel like people tune out so fast because that's how they watch games.
I ran into that when I was streaming Red Dead.
Really?
You're gonna get some trolls, man. I'm not gonna lie. There was like 12 people watching me play Red Dead, and it was not uncommon to be like revolving 2 or 3 trolls. Don't click on any links. They'll try to send you links where they'll just you click on the link and it screams the N-word, and they'll try to get your man doing that. That happened to me.
Oh yeah.
I thought he was being nice. He's like, "We play this song, man." I was like, "Sure, we'll play this song," and just right off the bat.
Guy.
And then they're like, "Oh, you're banned now," but I didn't get banned.
Yeah.
Then you have backseat gamers that be like, "Dude, turn around, you missed this thing." It's like, okay, but
yeah,
I think you'll do great.
Thank you. Yeah, I think I'll probably just start doing it, because it'll be kind of like the podcast. The more because me and Derek did it, and the more I put it off, the more awkward I'll get, and I won't do it. I feel like it is going to be awkward when I start it. I'm probably going to be kind of sitting there playing games. Oh yeah, the camera's there. But I feel like until I start doing it, it's just never going to happen.
It gets a little exciting, too. Because when I went from, like, 3 people watching to 12, I was like, whoa, there's 12. Like, I was picturing, like, 12 people just staring at me right now. It was weird. And one of my friends, he streams, too, and one time he got, like, in the hundreds.
Really?
Yeah, like, he was calling in my other friends to moderate for him, and I was like, this is so weird.
Yeah.
So it's exciting. You're like, holy shit, there's 12 people watching me right now.
Yeah, no, I hope it'll help. And like I told you, I connect it to our YouTube channel, so any streaming will should pop up a notification, tell you I'm online, and hopefully that'll help. And
we have Derek too. Derek's like
yeah, and that's we talked a little bit off air, but that's another reason why I want to get used to it, because we want to do Extra Life in November, and that's all about streaming. And if we don't know what we're doing by then, it'll be a complete mess. And I haven't talked to Derek lately, but I know I talked to him when I first had the idea, and he said he would love to do that with us, and he's always thought about doing it. So, yeah, even if, I don't know, he might do his own thing, but, like, it's usually better to have, like, teams of people anyways, so, like, he could do it on his end, and we could be one team together or whatever.
Yeah. And
that way you get, I was going to say you get more money, but for people who don't know, it's a charity thing. We wouldn't get any of the money, because it's actually complete opposite of selfish, but it sounded, as soon as I said that, we'll get more money. It sounded real dark. Did you have something to say before I keep going? I don't know if you're scrolling on something. Okay.
Oh, no, I do this right here.
To refresh it?
Yeah.
Or keep it up. That's what I do. Well, then we can move on. What have you been watching?
This is where I feel like I'm actually going through my backlog pretty good. I have been putting this one off since it came out. I was a senior in high school when this came out. It was Beaver. It was like Mel Gibson's first big one after going nuts.
I was gonna say, I knew I heard that.
Yeah, the lineup in that one, man. You got Mel Gibson, Jodie Foster playing his wife, Jennifer Lawrence playing his son's girlfriend, and then R.I.P. Anton Yeltsin?
Oh, the dude from Star Trek.
Yeah.
I know it's not what. Yeah.
Yeltsin?
Can't remember how you pronounce it. You're talking about though.
Yeah. Like, God, that was such a huge lineup. Granted, Anton and Jennifer Lawrence were not popular then, but the movie cost $21 million and it made $7 million, so I don't think it did too well. But I think it suffered from that genre or that time period of the Perks of a Wallflower, 10 Things I Hate About You, which is these like perfect people, these perfect storylines of a guy getting the girl and all that stuff.
When did you say that came out?
2011.
Oh, okay. I was looking up because you said that obviously none of them were popular, but I thought you said 2014, so say 100 Games came out before that, but that came out in 2012, so if you said 2011, that makes sense.
It kind of reminded me of one of like Adam Sandler's more serious movies. It was good. And then I dug out one of the movies I grabbed because I was like, this is going to be dumb. And it was, it's called New Fist of Fury. It's one of Jackie Chan's early films. On the cover of the movie is they like took Rambo's body with the M60, the big machine gun, and put Jackie Chan's head on it with an explosion behind him. So I'm thinking, okay, this is an action movie about guns. The whole thing's martial arts. There's guns, but it's in World War II. The M60 I don't think come out till like maybe the 50s or 60s. Yeah. And this is like pre-World War II, like the 30s. So Jackie Chan never touches a gun. I don't know who the fuck made that cover for it. But it's good. It's a Hong Kong movie that has some real serious like Chinese propaganda in it. I don't know how truthful this is, but the Chinese don't really like the Japanese as much for the history of, what happened during World War II.
Yeah, that's what I've always heard. I don't know how true it is either, but
yeah, I don't know either. But Jackie Chan's always saying shit like the true Chinese and stuff like that. The Japanese are all bad guys. Like the good Chinese patriots of Taiwan and shit like that. And it's all these territories that China claims, but it's also kind of in a gray area that they're their own country. But yeah, and then I was like, man, I am real fucking tired of humans right now, and I want just a piece of property and hide from everybody and all this weird shit going on. So, one of my favorite people to ever exist is probably Hunter S. Thompson. I think politically and just overall, I feel like I just relate to him, which is kind of a cringy thing to say because it's a lot of people say dumb shit like that. But I watched his documentary again, Buy the Ticket, Take the Ride, which is pretty available. You can watch that shit on YouTube. There's a handful of documentaries about him, but it has one of the greatest scenes in it with Gary Busey.
Oh, Jesus.
I got it. Once it's over, we'll have to watch it. Remind me. It's
okay.
So fucking great. So this guy's trying to do a documentary about Hunter S. Thompson, which he died. He committed suicide the year prior. And seriously, Hunter S. Thompson got real famous and then just bought up a bunch of property in Denver and just pretty much...
Go Broncos.
He would hide. Or it was somewhere in Colorado. I forget what the town's called. He didn't technically hide, but he had a compound out there and just loved guns. And he's incredibly libertarian. And I don't know if you read any of his writings and stuff. It's really good.
Yeah, I was going to say, I've actually never even heard of him. And I guess what you said could be considered cringy, but no, I feel like that's just because, like most things, it's got spun out of control and using ridiculous senses. Because, that's something I want to do is try and get better at talking, saying what I'm feeling, and not worry about what people said or what you're not supposed to do or whatever. And that's actually pretty similar to what I said last week about Mr. Rogers, because I was talking about watching his documentary. And that's almost exactly what I said is he seemed like the most real person and actually what he was, which is so rare for especially those kind of people that are so played up.
Really?
And yeah, that you should watch the documentary. It's
I need to check it out.
Would You Be My Neighbor? It's so fucking good. I think you'd like it a lot. And is also there's some negative stuff in it, but not about him, but more how people acted towards him because they knew how he was. But it's like perfect for right now with all the craziness going on. It's just like so much positivity, and like I said, so rare that somebody's just as genuine as they seem. And what I talked about was probably unfair, but it was my honest opinion that it seems you're so used to people being wrong and doing the wrong thing, especially when they're like that. That just seemed too good to be true, and you're like, this is gonna get weird, or the way he's so obsessed with kids, but there's never been anything that's ever come out about him, and I feel like there is anything that comes out about him after all this that I feel like it's obviously bullshit because there's been so much time for everybody to be able to talk, and even if something didn't happen, time for people to take advantage of it, especially after he died, because usually it's messed up. That's usually the time people take advantage of it the most. So I feel like he was one of the rare exceptions of just seeming as he actually was. But the point I was getting to was what you said, that I actually said almost the same exact thing, that it's weird but how inspirational he seemed and how much negativity was around him, but how positive he seemed and how many things he did that a lot of people thought were wrong at the time, and he didn't even think anything of it because it was natural to him. And also that I feel like he would be the perfect politician, and now even like that's kind of like an insult to say that, because politicians are so fake and so like sleazy that usually is not a compliment. But I feel like that's what politicians should be in. It's like the highest compliment, that somebody that can actually relate to people and understand and know what they're feeling and be a genuine person.
Yeah, that's how I feel a lot about Hunter S. Thompson too. Is like, I know he ran for sheriff at one point, but I feel like he'd been a great politician. He was very anti-Nixon. But Dan Bell on one of his new episodes of his podcast was talking about celebrities that he met. He said in the early '90s they went to New York, and at that time, gays weren't accepted like they normally are now, and he had multicolored hair. Him and his friend did, and were kind of in that get-up, I think is how he explained it. They look how normal, and he's walking down the road and realized it was Mr. Rogers and his wife, and he loved him, and so he stopped him. He said he's like the nicest guy in the world. It was just like on the show, and talked to them for like 30 minutes.
Yeah, you should watch the documentary. I think you'd fucking love it, and I feel like with how you're feeling down and feeling that it'd be perfect for you. Like I said, there is some negative. It's not all perfect, but not negative, like bashing him more, trying to show how people can still be terrible even when there's something like that should be nothing but positive, that people always try and find a way to make things worse. And
really?
Yeah, I think you would really enjoy it, though.
Because most celebrities you stop and say, they'll really be like, oh, hey, what's up, man?
Uh-huh.
But he's like, Mr. Rogers was like almost too nice. He's like, man, I love your show. I still watch it now to relax. He's like, bless your heart, and stuff like that, and being so nice to him. But yeah.
Yeah, it got me down I actually watched it as a kid pretty often because my parents wanted us to see it, so I saw all the time, but I couldn't really tell you anything more than I could any other kid's show. But watching it now and seeing the things he was talking about and dealing with, that it would seem fucking insane for people to talk about that stuff now, let alone when he was doing it. And like you talked about the assassination of JFK, but through puppets. And I was like, imagine somebody doing that now, and the fucking how fast that'll get canceled. And
didn't he do something too where it was like something about with the police, and he invited a black police officer on or something like that?
Yeah, it was. I saw some memes that were going around that changed the story a little bit, which I don't know why you needed to, because the story on its own was good. A lot of people were saying that that he did that because police weren't allowed. I mean, not police. Black people weren't allowed in the pool at that time, and only white people were allowed in the pool. And he brought him on even though he didn't know him, to show him that wasn't the case. But they showed it in the documentary. That part wasn't true. They didn't say that. I just saw it myself, that he did do that, but that was one of his best friends that was on the show all the time. And he did that just because to him that was normal and there's nothing wrong with it. Which, like I'm saying, I feel like I don't know why people make up weird small facts to add to that, because I feel like that's more inspirational and better than him doing that and making it seem like it's a point. But to him it just seemed natural. It didn't seem like it had to be a point. It was just like, yeah, this is my friend, so I don't see anything wrong with this.
Dan Bell asked him too who made the puppets. He said Mr. Rogers said he made all of them himself.
Yeah, and it gets deep into that and kind of talks about how that's how he got his anger out, and that he wasn't perfect or anything, but that's how he kind of got his emotions out, and would talk about some of the stuff that was affecting him mentally.
Kind of reminds you of Bob Ross.
Yeah, I've always thought for some reason they were kind of similar.
Mm-hmm. Both PBS too.
Oh, were they? I know.
I think so, yeah.
I knew who Mr. Rogers was. I didn't know about him.
I think he was PBS.
Yeah, if you watch, let me know what you think. I think you'd really enjoy it.
I need to check it out. I think you would know Hunter S. Thompson. You ever seen Where the Buffalo Roam with God damn it. super famous from Ghostbusters. Not
Bill Murray.
Bill Murray. You ever seen Where the Buffalo Roam?
I'm sure I have because my dad loved Bill Murray, so I probably saw it, but I don't remember it.
Johnny Depp, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
That's so he plays Hunter S.
Oh,
Thompson.
okay.
That's him. Yeah, man, this is so good. There's one of the best Gary Busey scenes ever. Well, we have to play it after this. So Gary Busey is in Where the Buffalo Roam, or I was getting confused because they're literally almost the same stories, just made different times. But Gary Busey is supposed to be being interviewed for the documentary. Instead of just being interviewed, he decides to start directing the documentary crew. So he's sitting on a beach with this turn. He's like, "Listen, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna turn and look at the beach, and then you come up to me, and I'm gonna pretend like I didn't know you guys were here." He's like, "Oh, hey, Gary. Oh, hello. You got a whole camera crew. Oh, and I'm wearing a mic." Like, it was just really terrible. And Gary Busey's fucking hilarious. I was laughing so hard I'm crying because you could tell when they edit it, they sprinkle it throughout there. So you have these this serious documentary, and then some sprinkled in is just crazy Gary Busey directing the camera crew. Those scenes become memes themselves on YouTube. We'll have to watch them. He's fucking insane, and I love it. But yeah, that's the 3 movies I watched.
Okay. I don't want to go on too long about Mr. Rogers, but I thought of one thing that I feel like you would be envious of and also mad at, but also laugh at all at the same time. His wife was talking about, not in a documentary, I was looking at another interview about how everybody thinks of him as a saint, and he really wasn't. And I was like, oh, great, now this is something, because this is straight from his wife. I was like, damn it, he seems so perfect. And but even that was spun around, and she was like kind of, I don't know the right word for it, but sarcastic, because she said even when she would go into a gas station or a restaurant or something, and the cashier was terrible to her and was incredibly rude, that she'd always come back out and start bitching, she said. And Mr. Rogers would always say, well, it's Fred Rogers, I always just say Mr. Rogers, but he'd always say, well, maybe they were just having a bad day. And she said that.
Oh my god!
I was like, I thought of you because you say how you can never do that, and how.
Yeah, Yeah, there's a special place. Oh man, and I think about it years later. We could be talking about something that happened 6 years ago. I'll just be fuming.
Yeah, but even that, she turned around. She said it was a joke because even when she'd get mad, that he would try and turn into a positive thing.
He wouldn't even let you be mad.
I actually haven't watched a lot this week. I watched some more Lost. I'm not completely caught up either. I need to watch 5 and 6 and then 7 and 8 tonight of season 3, because starting next week we're going to start watching our Lost together as a group again and doing a podcast after. And next week we'll also have EA Play before that, so it'll be fun. But besides that, me and Daniel watched some more of Dave Lil Dicky's show. Still just as funny. We only have 2 episodes left in the season though, so I'm kind of sad because I'm sure it's going to be a while until season 2 comes out, especially with everything going on. And then we randomly watched a documentary on Netflix. It's episodes. They're 20 minutes episodes. It's History 101. Have you seen that?
Is it like stuff that you didn't know?
Yeah, well, parts that you didn't know. The first one's McDonald's, if you've seen it, and then the second one was space exploration.
No, I don't think so.
They're interesting, but I had a couple issues with them. Like the McDonald's one, it was super interesting and well done, but gets way too preachy about the environment and stuff that even though I don't completely agree with that, I think it is necessary to touch on a documentary, but they go way overboard about just pushing their views instead of just talking about all sides and completely getting away from what the rest of the documentary was about.
Gotcha.
And then the second one was space, which I was interested in, but I don't know, for some reason that kind of stuff I always am more interested in, the ridiculous things like McDonald's and that kind of stuff. And it looked like the rest of them got more serious, like the history of the uprising of China and robotics, and there's 10 episodes, I think. So I don't know if I'll be as interested in those because, like I said, for some reason, documentaries for the most part, I just like that kind of stuff. I feel like when it gets that kind of stuff, it's too real and kind of gets depressing or scary or sad or whatever.
There is a documentary. It was almost like a retort to The Founder, that movie that you showed me about the true story of McDonald's. You should check that one out. And then I started one on HBO called McMillions, and it's about these guys that were stealing money from the Monopoly game from McDonald's. If you want to watch a couple more McDonald's things.
Okay. Yeah, if you want to send me those, kind of forget, but I'd be interested in seeing them.
Yeah, McMillions you got to watch on HBO. I don't know if you know someone's got HBO Go.
Yeah, my sister does.
Does she? Yeah. Watch it on there then. It's really funny because this FBI agent is like, nobody wanted to really take it serious. Like, dude, McDonald's really. And it's kind of just like person randomly called in the FBI and claimed it, and this really obsessive new agent was like, I'm gonna figure out who's doing this, and they go through this huge, long, drawn out thing to track the guys down.
Yeah.
So I recommend that one.
Okay.
And I think the other McDonald's one's on Netflix.
Oh, okay.
Or Hulu is like the true story of the founder or something like that.
Gotcha. So I guess that brings us to our free games of the week. It's another transition week, so it's a weird week, but there's gonna be more of them. But you got Warhammer 40,000 Inquisitor Martyr till June 15th, so only a few days left on that. Shantae and the Pirate's Curse till June 30th. These are Xbox One. I don't even know if I started with that. And then starting June 16th till July 15th, you can get something called Coffee Talk. I've never heard that in my life.
That sounds like a really bad middle-aged podcast. Hey everybody, welcome back. Today on Coffee Talk, what we're going to be talking about is, did you see what Kim Kardashian was doing last week?
I feel like we shouldn't do it anytime soon. We should let time pass, but I feel like we should do an episode and just present it like it's a normal episode, like do the intro and everything.
Hi everybody, welcome to Coffee Talk. Today what I'm doing is a French bean hot press. It's delicious. Oh, it's 90% cream, but it's still coffee. And lots of sugar. And coffee. That is such a podcast. But watch this. You ready for this? I guarantee there's a podcast already out there called.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, that's too easy if you like that kind of stuff.
I can't even about to fucking look this up. Coffee. Oh Jesus. Oh my God. Listen to some of these names. Coffee with Comrades. It's a coffee talk about communism. Coffee break Spanish. Coffee break with Clems. What was it? Coffee Talk?
Yeah, Coffee Talk.
This is definitely a fucking podcast. Oh no. You ready for this? I guarantee this has a really bad intro. Let's see what the intro is. You ready? It's gonna be like, oh, I already know what this is gonna sound like. Hey everybody, welcome.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Coffee Talk. As always, I'm Brian, and we would always like.
There's like, listen to this too. You ready to know how many podcasts here and have the title Coffee Talk?
It's like podcast Inception. How many?
Oh my God, Casey, dude, you see this? You ready for this? Listen. This is for the people not watching the video or just have it minimized or whatever. I am swinging through this thing of all these coffee talks. There's probably coffee talks, and it's all coffee talks with the whitest names ever. Coffee talk with Rebecca. Coffee talk with Ian and Ivy. Coffee talk with Stallone. Hopefully, this is all coffee. This is all podcasts with the title Coffee Talk in it. There's probably. Look at this. Okay, I don't know if you can see on the podcast. You see all those? Wait. Oh, it's not swiping anymore. Swiper, no swiping. All that? It's still going? That's all Coffee Talk podcasts. If you are a middle-aged white woman who's thinking about starting a podcast, do not call it Coffee Talk. Sorry, that was a little tangent there. That was disgusting. I guarantee they all start the same, too. Music and just...
It's funny you said that, because I was going to make a joke. You changed it, so I couldn't. I was going to say... Yeah, that'd be like starting a video game podcast about video games, but then you said the title, so yeah, that's not us. But weird enough, I feel like these people had to steal it from us. Somebody follow us on Instagram called Backlog and Beyond, which is also Beyond, I always say. But they're on episode 3 of their podcast, and they only started May 2nd.
Uh-oh.
These motherfuckers.
You know what I got to say about that?
What's that?
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'm about to go listen to the podcast.
Yeah, let me actually follow them back and see what it is and all that.
Oh, no. See, now I'm getting more distracted here because I clicked on one of these. I chose the whitest looking one here. Kaylin's Coffee Talk. You ready for the name of these episodes? How to Find Your Higher Self. Let's talk about loneliness. You know her last podcast was called Let's Talk About Loneliness? Do you think she offed herself? Let's talk about
I hope not.
Oh.
Support for this podcast comes from NerdWallet. NerdWallet is helpful.
I love NerdWallet. I'll listen to music.
It's on Apple Podcasts or your favorite podcasting app.
Are you kidding me right? This is going to be
Only the gentle are ever really strong. James Dean.
Of course it started with a motivational. Did you steal it off Instagram? Did you get that off Instagram? Rebecca, whatever the fuck your white ass name is. I bet it's... I can't even. You are forever strong and pretty and beautiful, Marilyn Monroe. This is Coffee Talk with Cindy. Today we're going to be talking about... What do you think she talks about? About loneliness. Sometimes it's very hard to be lonely. Thank you. James Dean.
I fucking hate you.
I hate that. That was disgusting. Why is there 400 named Coffee Talk? Coffee Talk. What the hell? What else? Can you think of another white person, super white, like that podcast? That would be named something.
I'm sure I can, but now I'm just blanking. I'm like, oh, there's thousands, and I got nothing.
Yeah, Coffee Talk's just a little too good. You imagine how many blogs are called Coffee Talk, too?
Yeah.
Sorry, okay, I'm done. Those titles were killing me.
Oh, you're good. So on 360 till June 30th, you got Cinemora on Xbox.
Oh, you should definitely... If you like shoot 'em ups, that's a great game.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I
you
feel
should
like
definitely-
I've heard that name pretty often.
That's a good game.
On Xbox, Destroy All Humans till June 15th. So again, only a few days left on that. On PlayStation Plus, you got Call of Duty World War II and Battlefront 2 till July 6th. Any fake outrage?
I just have real outrage for Coffee Talk. That's the only thing I have. Hi, this is Rebecca with... I got it. If you want some fake real outrage, let me go back to this episode. Let's get a few minutes into this.
I just mean, like, how many times have you just texted somebody rather than pick up the phone and call them? Often more than not, right? And I don't think, again, that that's a bad thing.
Holy shit, dude. Who the... she could probably do the same thing, like, oh my god, they're just talking about video games and DVDs and movies. But what the fuck was that? She's sponsored by NerdWallet, and NerdWallet's a big company.
That's all we do.
This right here is sponsored.
Never pick
Everybody.
up the phone or slowly but surely
Does
stop
YouTube
picking up
recognize
the phone.
podcasts like they do music?
Oh god, I hope not.
No, I don't think they. If they do, I would be surprised because I was joking.
Let's talk
And I'd be
about...
real pissed if something like that, guys, removed off YouTube.
Because you're chasing that wealth, reputation,
I
possession.
think it's louder than either of us, too.
power. And when you are doing it because you get a sense of fulfillment for it, like if
Oh no. What the hell is any... This one's called How to Find Your Higher Self. Why...
is thinking that you needed to rid yourself of
You
the
could
ego. And
listen
I-
to me.
I
You
do
could
know
take
that
all
when
of her episodes, combine them all. They're all the same thing. She's just reading Instagram motivational quotes over and over again. You ready? This is gonna be a whole episode. I could do a whole episode of hers. Hi, welcome to Coffee Talk. Today we're gonna be talking about motivational suppression of the inner self. When you are out there with the motivational inside of you, what you're not understanding is you're hitting an inner quote of happiness that you're trying to find. Like, nothing she's saying means anything. It's just fucking words. She has like a word bank that she's just reading out of. And her podcast is called Coffee Talk, dude. What the fuck? Why is there 400 coffee talks? God damn. Why would you would look it up and be like, okay, there's 400 of them, I better not do it. But then they all think they're special because it's Coffee Talk with generic white name. All of her podcasts sound the same. I just played you 3 separate podcasts there. They could have all been the same episode. All of those could have been the same sentence. That's my real outrage. I have no fake outrage.
I don't have any this week either. So I guess we can end it there. And as always, you can follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Current Backlog. And you can email any corrections, questions, or feedback to currentbackloggers@gmail.com.
And finding your inner self is a lifelong journey. Abraham Lincoln. Goodbye.
Thanks for watching.